Hello and welcome back to the True Crime Guys podcast. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Michael.
We got a real episode this week, guys.
A real episode?
Not like a 20
Are
minute.
we even doing those anymore?
What, the real ones?
Full episodes? They're just so much work.
You want to just do a short one?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do a short episode
Yeah,
this
about
week.
7 minutes.
Everybody's getting so angry.
Relax. You can already see the time thing, right?
We promised we'll do regular episodes, and here's one for you. So shush.
So shush your mouth.
With your comments. Hey, we hit 1,000 iTunes reviews
1,000?
like yesterday. Trippy.
That is true.
Just iTunes. I mean, we've had over 1,000 reviews, like when you combine Stitcher and all the other stuff.
Oh, okay.
But like, yeah, just to see that 1K on just iTunes is pretty crazy because that's the podcast app I use.
Is that like a landmark?
Yeah, I'm one of the elitist Apple people.
Oh, okay.
Deal with
Elitist.
it. The shit works, okay? And it doesn't get viruses. That's why I like Apple products.
Viruses? Does anybody get viruses anymore?
Yeah, if you got them PCs, you're going to be getting...
When's the last time
Gotta
you heard of
clean your
someone getting a
cookies.
virus?
Why don't you clean your cookies there, guy?
Clean your cookies. You trying to get a virus in here? Oh my god.
Right? That's how kids talk to each other now. I think that's how you avoid getting sick. You fucking clean your cookies.
Clean your cookies. They're tracking that shit, bro.
Coming in here coughing. Did you even clean your cookies this morning? What are we talking about?
We were talking about how people were wondering if we're ever going to put out full episodes again.
Oh, yeah. This is one of them right here. Mm-hmm. Actually, it's a series. We're starting a series, much like the Freeway Killer series.
Right.
This idea is brought to us by, what are we calling Chris Sharp is from a professional standpoint? Like, he's now like one of our employees.
He's like an ambassador for this podcast.
Yeah, but beyond that, he took on somewhat of a researcher role.
Yeah, he has.
He came to us. He's an idea man. That's what we'll call him, Chris Sharp.
Okay.
Over there.
He's the lead of our creative team.
Yeah. I think I'll give him that.
Yeah.
I'd like to think Pot was the leader of your creative team.
Fair enough. Okay, well, he's second.
Yeah.
Second in command. Number 2. Not bad, Chris.
Number 2 behind Mr. Green.
Right?
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, so he came to us. He sent us a long email about this idea he has for a Hangman series.
This is a great idea.
Great idea. And the best part is we've already done part 1 and we didn't even realize it.
But we are so ahead of the game.
Can't Do It Christie, John Reginald Christie,
right?
was part 1 of this Hangman series. He happened to be killed by an infamous hangman over in Great Britain.
Right.
And this guy that we're
all these cases are going to be in Great Britain.
There's 3
correct?
of them. It's a
Or
trilogy.
in the UK.
Yeah, so Christie, the guy we're doing today, and someone else that we're going to do soon,
Yeah.
will all have been executed by the same man.
Hell yeah.
And this man had one hell of a life and one hell of a career.
One hell of a
I mean,
family.
his daily routine, his job, just I got to go hang some people today, babe.
Yeah. Well, it pays the bills.
Yeah.
Hey, wasn't his whole family like his dad, and wasn't he third or something?
Yeah.
Pierre Point, or was he like one of those middle guys?
Yeah, so this man was named Albert Pierre Point. Mm-hmm. And he was, yes, part of a family business. His father Henry and Uncle Thomas were official hangmen before him.
Wow.
Now, Pierre Point was born March 30th, 1905, and lived up until July of 1992, and executed between 435 and 600 people in a 25-year career of being a hangman.
How does he not know? How do you not know how many you participated in? I feel like that's like
it's a daily thing for it's like,
but that's a
hanging
legal
people
document though. Like you can't go back and find it.
I think he probably worked at. I know he worked at several different prisons doing this, so it wasn't like he was at the same place. It was probably like I think I did like 50 over there, and then like 75 over here.
Dude, what do you think the Pierre Point like get-togethers are like?
What do you mean
just a family of killers.
Oh, family
of legal killers. Like
just a lot of jokes. I feel like, hey, you've been hanging around there, Uncle.
How's it hanging at work?
Right. Yeah. There was a lot of stupid, corny jokes about hanging people.
You think so, or maybe they were just so freaking gloomy?
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like those people are probably even like more
they're proud,
but I don't know. When you see that on a daily basis, you probably got some levity. Probably pretty funny. They're probably pretty positive as soon as you leave work.
Okay. You think you did something good, probably. Maybe you just really believe in the death penalty. You're like...
I would hope so. If you killed up to 600
If you
people.
are a hangman?
Yeah, if you're a
Maybe
hangman.
It pays well, though. Maybe it pays well.
Oh, it did. It did.
You ever heard the saying, I'm a poor man, not a bad man?
Yeah.
So, people have to do things sometimes, man, when they're poor.
Yeah, there's a lot of rich, bad people out there.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
No.
Some of them give back.
Yeah.
But this guy, he made his bucks hanging people, so...
Honest living, I guess.
Yeah, up until 1956 when his career finally ended. Pierre Point wanted to become a hangman from an early age. He'd been taken on as an assistant executioner
Oh.
in September 1930. That's good on the resume.
Yeah, that's a real landmark in your career when you,
You're
when
trying
you
to
get
get a
that
job.
first apprenticeship,
Right.
and you just work your way up.
Really showed promise in the hanging
right.
business.
He was always good with ropes. Learned those knots right away.
Right.
Impressive.
His first execution was in December that year alongside his Uncle Tom.
Oh,
In October of 1941, he undertook his first hanging as the lead executioner.
wow.
That
I bet
sounds
they were
a little
like-
better than assistant, the lead.
You think they were
now
taking
you're lead
pictures?
executioner.
They were totally taking pictures.
For sure.
The whole family was there. Mom was there. Aunt was there. They're all so proud.
During his tenure, he had hanged 200 people who had been convicted of war crimes in Germany and Austria. So war criminals.
So yeah, probably eased his conscience quite a bit, huh?
Yeah. I would hope, I'd actually, if I was going to get executed, I would want a guy like this who's seasoned and done it many times. He's going to do it right. He's not going to he's going to have the
yeah.
height. He's going to
You
have
don't
the
want him-
height of your drop right to where your neck snaps and you don't.
Right. You don't have to suffocate.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
that can go bad.
Yeah, dude.
It can go bad in multiple ways.
You
Either
got a
can-
hangman doesn't know how to use a tape measure. You're fucked, man.
Yeah, you got to
It's not
get the
good.
height right, because if you go too high and the drop
Yeah.
is too far, they pretty much get decapitated.
Oh,
And if it's not far enough, your neck doesn't snap and you end up basically choking for like 5 minutes until you die, and you're
yeah.
just
That's rough.
doing the
Probably.
flop around. Everybody do the flop
Or
around.
he makes it too long and you just
Imagine
hit
if
the
you had
ground and pull it off and you run.
Yeah? Like,
Huh?
what was that? Wasn't that in like Shanghai Noon or something?
I'm sure it was some Jackie Chan movie. Yeah, probably. It is okay. The rope is too long.
Yeah. I just had a weird image of like a really sick in the head executioner like dancing with the guy who's flopping around on the rope.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why.
That
That
is
was like a
sick.
Tarantino scene in my head.
Wow. There's some things you say and some things you don't.
Yeah, that's one you shouldn't
Yeah.
say, right?
It's all right, though. It's already out
Sorry,
there.
people.
We're not
It's-
cutting it out.
It's 9 a.m. and I've had a Corona or two. I'm an alcoholic. It's really a problem. No, I'm kidding. just on recording day.
Right.
Yeah, every other day I'm a saint.
That's right.
Yeah, so this Albert, he did a lot of hanging.
He did.
And he had a long career, and 3 of the people that were infamous that he hung, we're going to do cases on, one of them being Christie today.
Right.
We've got
Did we mention that in the Christie one? Need to go back.
No,
and
we
listen.
didn't.
We didn't mention him.
Oh,
at all?
we mentioned Pierre Point. Yeah,
Oh,
we
okay,
did mention
okay.
him. Yeah.
Okay.
And Pierre Point actually also executed an innocent man from that case. Remember
That's
that?
right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The one that died
Yes.
because of Christie
The guy. Oh,
was
man.
also executed by Pierre Point.
That's right.
Yeah. so,
right.
So yeah, this is the Hangman series, part 2. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Hello. Oh, thank it's on, is it? Is it on? Hello? Hello? Can I have your attention, please? Would you all give a warm welcome for the return of John Reginald and the Wankers? They're back with their new song. You can just call me John Haigh. And here they are. I had a dream. Every tree in the forest was after me. Then they started to bleed and begged of me to drink. I had a dream. You can just call me John Haigh. They'll never catch me anyway. Might say I have peculiar ways, but I'm just trying to get paid. You can just call me John Haigh. They'll never catch me anyway. Might say I have peculiar ways, but I'm just trying to get paid today. Dad had a mark on his face. He said he got it when he fell from grace. I always knew he was lying. Show me the body, I'll show you the crime. Yeah, I always knew he was lying. You can just call me John Haigh. They'll never catch me anyway. Might say I have peculiar ways, but I'm just trying to get paid. You can just call me John Haigh. They'll never catch me anyway. Might say I have peculiar ways, but I'm just trying to get paid. You can just call me John Haigh. They'll never catch me anyway. Might say I have peculiar police was after me. Then they started to plead and begged of me to drink. I had a dream.
Thank you guys so much. Fun fact about John Haigh, his birthday is July 24th, 1909, and he shares that birthday with Jennifer Lopez and Barry Bonds. Thank you. Thank you. Barry Bonds fans in there. All right, cool. All right. Good night, everybody. Enjoy the show.
All right, so our case this week is a guy that even if we weren't doing something awesome like a Hangman series or a Hangman trilogy, we still would do a case like this.
Absolutely.
Because this guy's fascinating. He's known by one of the better monikers we've had, too, the acid bath murderer.
Yeah. As soon as I
Sounds
heard
scary,
that, I was
right?
like, I thought Breaking Bad instantly.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And
I was
that-
like, man, why didn't anybody else do that?
And at the end of the
brilliant.
book that we got this week to study, it's another Jack Rosewood book called The Acid Bath Murderer, a terrifying true story of one of the worst British serial killers. So get ready for your British accents. But at the end of the book, he went over a bunch of cases that have happened involving acid. It's more rare because it's hard to get a hold of these corrosive acids.
Yeah, apparently
like sulphuric
then,
acid
though,
is very hard to get a hold of now.
he owned a machine shop or something like that, of some sort.
Back then, you could
right?
just get it, yeah.
So that was the only excuse he needed to have
get
it. He could be
barrels
like
of
to clean, yes, sulfuric acid. He was like, I just need to clean tools and equipment.
Right. They're like,
They
oh,
were
here
like,
you
"Oh,
go.
sure, here's
this
a
shit could
truckload of
be
barrels."
used in terrorist attacks, but go ahead and take it because you got a shop.
Yeah, you got to.
But what I was getting to is that at the end of the book, Jack Rosewood goes over a handful of cases that acid were involved after this.
Yes, very interesting.
Many
couple
of them in the 2015 range after Breaking Bad
Yep.
had been.
That's where they
infamous,
got that
had
freaking
several
idea.
scenes throughout that series of
Dude,
using
Breaking
corrosive
Bad,
acid
I thought about this before.
to melt bodies.
Breaking Bad may have been too real. I think it taught people too much.
Yeah.
It really did. Like, it was too realistic sometimes. Sometimes it was crazy. But honestly, like, as far as the whole underground operations and the way they hid things and made
That
things.
scene where Gus like just walks in, doesn't say a word, slowly puts on the suit and the mask, walks over and just slits the dude's throat and just like drops him in the barrel of the acid or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like so chilling. I always think of that scene first when I think of Breaking Bad.
Dude,
it's
he's
always
a
that scene.
stone cold killer,
Right.
man.
But
Freaking
several
Gus.
people were actually influenced by Breaking Bad and used acid to try and dissolve
Absolutely,
bodies
they
after
would
murdering
have.
people. And
It doesn't work as fast.
It doesn't work like
people
Breaking
think.
Bad shows you. It
Right.
does not dissolve them to where there's nothing. Like there's always going to be human fat left. There's going to be any hard materials.
Gallstones can be left over.
Dentures.
Yep.
We learned all this from this case.
Absolutely.
It's very interesting how this guy was actually captured in the end. And it was partially because of laziness. I mean, he's dumping his shit in his backyard. Like,
You
come
know
on.
what's strange?
Like right in the yard of the shop that he was using or whatever.
It dissolves your teeth, right? But not dentures.
Yeah, so it must be a different material.
Interesting.
Well, I think because
it's weird that it can't dissolve a gallstone, but
human
it can,
teeth are an organic matter, and it would like attack proteins and lipids and stuff.
Okay.
To get sciencey.
Oh, you're getting real Bill Nye on me.
Whereas dentures would be made of some kind of probably plastic type shit.
Oh,
so
and that stuff shitless
different.
forever.
It's different. So like rubber gloves, it's not burning them
Yeah.
because it's like a synthetic material, but like organic material, it would just eat. It's weird how it works.
Oh,
He explains
that
it
is
at the end of the
interesting.
book
That's
too.
a
It's
great
like-
point.
Actually, one of my favorite Jack Rosewood books. You know, usually he added a lot of stuff he didn't need to. In the end, he like
And
really
that's
summed
so
it up
not
really
Jack
well.
Rosewood of
It
him.
isn't. Yeah, he usually just tells the story and it's over. Boom.
Yep. I think the narrator is very good too. If you
Yeah, it was
want the
also-
audible version,
Also, not the normal guy that Jack Rosewood uses in audio
No.
form. It was a different guy, and it was a
Yeah.
little easier.
very easy to listen to. The guy had a little more inflection in his voice. He had a little more intensity when it needed it. And
The normal guy he uses has a weird accent, and I can't quite figure it out. But
oh, really?
yeah,
I can't
you know,
remember
the
the
normal
other
Jack
ones.
Rosewood
I'd have to go back and
guy.
listen, but-
Anyways, all right, so let's jump into it. Our case this week: the acid bath murderer is a guy by the name of George Haigh. He's a British man, so buckle up for British accents. I
Buckle
guess.
up, wankers.
Buckle up, wankers. John George Haigh, commonly known as the acid bath murderer, was an English serial killer. He was convicted for the murders of 6 people, although he claimed to have killed 9. He battered or shot his victims to death or used concentrated sulphuric acid to dispose of the corpses before forging papers so he could sell the victims' possessions and collect a substantial sum of money from them.
What do you think about his claim to have killed 9? I find it very difficult to determine because when he did claim this,
He was going for insanity.
he was going for insanity, but it's not so crazy where you're like, you know how you have some serial killers where they get convicted of like 4 murders and they're like, I really did 70.
Right.
This guy, he's like, I did 9. I'm like, oh, maybe he did.
No, see, the thing was, like, were you saying that if he killed 6, why wouldn't
He could have easily killed 9. That doesn't seem too crazy.
The thing was, he was trying to prove that he was killing not for purely financial reasons.
Right.
Basically, the way the court was going to look at it is he insane? No, every killing he did was premeditated, and there was a purpose of getting financial gain from it.
They were people of
He
wealth.
was saying that the extra 3, he barely knew anything about them, and he got no financial gain out of them. He only killed them because he had this need to kill, which hence making him insane.
Right.
Because he killed for financial gain, and he also killed not for financial.
Okay.
But those extra 3,
That's what I'm leaning towards.
I don't
but
think
just
he did.
The quantity of it made me second guess. I'm like, he's pretty damn smart. Like, that's a good choice.
Yeah, he was smart.
Yeah.
But also got very
Quite the con man. It takes a special type of person to kill the way he did. Like, I feel like he's more ruthless than a lot of serial killers. Like, he makes more sense. He's not really a puzzle to me,
Right.
but he's way more ruthless. Someone who will get to know someone for maybe
all the
months,
while
years
knowing
on
he's going
end,
to kill them.
and he knows he's going to kill them.
Yeah.
That's
It's like one of those what are those called, Gila monsters or whatever, where they bite like a big one of those big water buffalo on the ankle, and then they just follow it around for like a week, knowing it's going to drop any minute.
Yes.
And just staring
Yeah, they
at it,
just
and then they all
poison it.
start like more of them show up, and it's like
Yeah.
if they're watching a fucking drive-in movie theater,
Yeah.
just watching this thing stand there like you're going to fall any minute. I'm going to eat you. Super creepy.
Like, hey man, you following that buffalo? Yeah. You
Yeah.
want to follow me? There's plenty for us too, man.
Right.
You can show.
Hey, bro, dinner's coming. I promise.
Hey guys! Oh fuck, this guy's got a family.
It's super creepy, man. That's one
Yeah,
of those
it
National
is.
Geographic shows I'll never forget. It was just watching them sitting in there drooling.
I do remember
watching
that.
this
Actually,
thing stand
I think
there.
you told me about this.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me about
Super
this. That's
creepy.
very interesting.
So this guy's like a human Gila monster.
yeah,
Like,
he is.
he would meet them.
Oh, we
and
should
once
make some sort of graphic for this week with
the
the
deal was
monster.
the second he would find out that they had any wealth that he could attain, that was when it was boom. He knew from that moment. He's like, he meets someone. Are they worth hanging around long enough to find out whether it's worth killing them?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't got any money. Move on. Find somebody. If you were wearing a fur jacket, he was going to try and be your best friend. He was very,
Yeah, he would.
very charismatic and like actually not a bad looking guy too.
He wanted to really keep up that lifestyle. And I think that's really all it was. Because like once he got a big lump sum of someone's money, he wasn't very good with it.
Right.
He just blew
No,
it, right?
no, he
Because
blew-
he
yeah,
had
he
this
burned right through it.
lifestyle that he had to.
He wasn't
had
trying
to
to set
portray.
himself up for the future and like
No.
invest. He was
Right.
getting properties from people that he
like-
could have just kept for himself, but he would sell them for like probably half price
Yeah.
just because he wanted to live a lavish lifestyle and be a big shot.
Right.
That's all it came down to.
He wasn't very good with money, but in other way, pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
Seemed.
So let's start at the beginning. John George Haigh was born July 24th, 1909 in Stamford, Lincolnshire, and grew up in a village out of Outwood in Yorkshire.
Okay.
So we got to channel our British accents. I'm wearing a Simon Pegg t-shirt, coincidentally.
Oh, perfect. There you go.
Love Shaun of the Dead and World's End
Right.
and Hot Fuzz.
I think
You got red on you.
I think I want to go more like Russell Brand this time.
All right. I mean, and
I
then
think it's a little bit easier to manipulate the way that you speak if you can envision the words coming out of your mouth.
Am I getting closer?
yeah, you are.
Oh,
If you
okay.
start talking like yoga and veganism, then I think you'll be there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I always try to. I feel like he doesn't say anything,
And you don't
that-
smell
that
bad
doesn't
enough. You're
try
wearing
to
Oh My
be-
Guy. I imagine he's got stinky pits. He just looks like a guy that wouldn't wash very much. I just
How
don't
dare
believe
you.
it. I don't believe in showers. You know?
When you shower, you wash off the natural essence of what makes you
You're
who
washing
you
off-
are, mate.
Mate, you're washing off experiences
Right.
and memories.
Experience.
And the women
Those
that you fucked the night before.
Those smells, they're like they're the essence of who you are.
Yeah. So yeah, he grew up in Outwood in Yorkshire. His parents were engineer John Robert Haigh and his wife Emily, members of the Plymouth Brethren, a conservative Protestant sect.
Protestant sect.
Well, that came from Protestant, right? Because they
protest everything fun. Yes, that's exactly right. These conservative doesn't even scratch the surface of what his parents were.
Dude, yeah, this is a tale of a person who was completely just engulfed by religion as a young child. His parents smothered him with it, did not allow him to live a real childhood at all. It was complete isolation from others, and
every problem with their life, every question he had was answered with religion.
Right.
Absolutely was.
The Plymouth Brethren were also referred to as the peculiar people.
That's not good.
It's not good when you're the peculiar people.
That's strange. That means you are not like the majority.
Right. You're
but
peculiar.
Not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not necessarily bad.
It's a very British way of saying, mate, listen, it's not
it's
that
just
we
different,
don't,
right?
It's not that we don't like you. You're okay. It's just you're a little peculiar.
Yeah. Yeah. Hay's father built a 10-foot wall around their entire property in order to keep out the outside world. That would make you a bit peculiar. That's a bit peculiar.
That's a bit excessive. That's you know what? Now that I think about it, that's about the most conservative idea I've heard.
Yeah. That makes sense.
You can't get much more conservative than wanting to build a wall around everything.
Right. Everything else is bad.
Right.
We just
build
need
a wall.
We just need us and
Keep it
God,
out.
mate.
No.
All forms of social entertainment were banned, so the only entertainment Hay had growing up were listening to endless Bible stories. To be fair, it's not like you had Fortnite back then. What entertainment was there? Like you could listen to your favorite radio program on the old radio.
You know, ironically, probably other kids who didn't grow up to be serial killers were probably like just torturing animals for fun.
Right.
And burning things.
He
like
never
a
did
normal
that. To
kid.
his credit, he was always known to be kind to animals, right?
Yeah.
He even killed someone and fucking adopted their dog and kept their dog with him.
They're God's creatures.
That's the first I've heard of that. And how many? We've done over 100 episodes, I think, at this point.
You know
Never heard of a killer killing someone and then keeping their dog.
He must have really fell in love with that dog.
Must have.
That dog.
The way that dog looked at him while he was killing their owner.
You know what?
That dog was like, it's just they locked eyes.
You ever go to someone's house and you're just like,
eyes.
man, they have a great dog.
That dog looked at him and said, I'm glad you killed my owner because me and you were meant to be. I mean, he said it with his eyes, but
right.
You know,
it was kind of a Son of Sam type thing, probably.
Right. Spoke to him.
It was probably just
Harvey.
an adorable little black lab.
Harvey. I swear to God, the next dog I get, I'm naming Harvey.
Yes,
It's happening.
You
And then
have
it's
to.
going to tell me to kill people.
Oh, great. Well, we'll never run out of material.
Right.
Hello, buddy.
Yeah. Hay's father also liked to constantly remind the family that they were being watched by a higher power. Hay's only company as a young child were his pets, which he treated with surprisingly loving care. Hay was a well-behaved child, and on the rare occasion that he needed to be punished, his mother would spank him with a hairbrush. And there was a weird part where he later said, and this is probably part of his insanity defense.
Yeah, it was.
He later told police that when his mother would spank him with his hairbrush, it would draw blood, and he would lick the blood from the hairbrush.
And she was just hitting him on the hand.
Dude, you know how hard you'd have to hit someone with a hairbrush? Like one of the ones with the pokey things.
But did the old hairbrushes have those little plastic tips? Those things are lifesavers.
Just thinking that. Those little rounded rubber tips that they have.
That go on the end. Maybe that's why they did that.
Yeah.
Kids were, I bet they, yeah.
It probably was just steel.
You know what it was? It was probably those like really coarse brushes, like the really thick bristles. It's more like bristles that are sticking out. And those things are like
probably sewing needles stuck to a board. That was their hairbrush back then.
Or like nails just hammered through a board.
Yes.
And you just use the other parts.
Dude, yeah. It was brutal back then.
Yeah.
Everybody was tougher.
Yeah.
So I could see, maybe I'm buying his story now. He was definitely bleeding from this
Your
old
mom's
school
like,
hairbrush.
nails your hand to the table with a hairbrush?
Yeah. A 1915 hairbrush. What does that look like?
Yeah. Probably looks
Some
like a
kind
torture
of
device.
Yeah,
now.
torture device for
Yeah.
sure. Hay claimed the bristles of the brush would draw blood, and after his mother was done, he would lick the wound clean. Oh, the wound, not the hairbrush.
No, not there. Oh, God. Dude,
Stupid.
just imagine licking a hairbrush. Oh, my God.
The bloody
dude.
one. He claimed this was his alleged taste for blood was from licking the wound clean.
Wow. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's all he had, though. You know, that's because that probably did happen
They
once.
didn't have Band-Aids either, you
And
think?
so he had, no, they didn't have Band-Aids, man. They wrapped it up with like some sort of cotton cloth.
Better throw some duct tape on that shit.
Did they have duct tape?
Probably. Duct tape's been around. I mean, that's like
Has it been
cavemen
around?
had it, right?
Dude, I don't know. I might need to
Cavemen
check.
definitely bundled their sticks with duct tape.
Oh, my God.
For sure.
All right.
Hay claimed later in his life that he suffered from reoccurring religious nightmares in his childhood. Despite these limitations, he developed great proficiency at the piano, which he learned at home. He was prolific at playing piano from the way it sounded. Like, even like, didn't he get offered scholarships for his musical abilities.
Yeah, he did.
He was fond of classical music and often went to concerts featuring music by Felix Mendelssohn, Johann Sebastian Bach, Antonio Vivaldi,
Nice.
Tchaikovsky, I believe, and many others. I've heard of some of them. That means they're damn good at piano if I've heard of them.
You've heard of Sebastian Bach? Yeah.
Yeah, man, I've heard of him.
Dude, you should have.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, duct tape was invented in 1942.
Yeah, after the cavemans discovered it, and then it got covered up,
Right.
somewhere along the
Tape
lines.
is a loose word, you know what I mean?
And then in 1942, they dug it up and they found some antique duct tape, and they're like, damn, this is a good idea.
You think so?
Yeah.
They were like, I think we're going to...
The more you know.
Right.
It's the stuff you learn on True Crime Guys podcast.
Right.
All right, we got to stop being silly.
It's all
and
top-notch
stick
knowledge.
to the people that want us to stay.
Yeah, Lauren
on track.
wants to appease the boring people, apparently. The factual people. Listen, if they want to know the facts, get the damn Jack Rosewood book, you know?
We're being so silly that you can't even follow the story at this point.
I can...
We've gone over
right.
the
I have
history
no
of
idea what
duct
we're doing.
tape, executioners dancing while their body of the person being executed is flopping around. It's just, we just need
It's
to
been
stay
a
on
broad
track.
spectrum.
It has. Hay eventually won a scholarship to Queen Elizabeth Grammar School in Wakefield. He then won another scholarship to Wakefield Cathedral, where he became a choir boy. This is also the first instance of us doing a serial killer who was once a choir boy. Which is the antithesis of a serial killer. If you had to say, like, what's the opposite of a serial killer? I would say a choir boy. This guy was both.
Both. Wow.
Who else can say that?
Evil one too.
Who else can say they were once a choir boy, became a serial killer?
Not that it's any better, but he wasn't a serial killer with a sexual compulsion. He was just a serial killer that was just straight evil and wanted to kill and steal.
like a
literally
machine.
just kill and steal over and over again. That's like the top 1 and 2 commandments, I'm pretty sure.
Right. Yeah, you're right. This guy checks some boxes, bro.
He does. He's no puzzle, but goddamn, he's evil.
Right. After school, he became an apprentice at a motor engineer firm. So basically, he became a mechanic. While he loved cars, he had an intense dislike for dirt, and after a year, he left the job. It was said that, like, while working at the job, he was completely, like, gloves, face mask, everything. Like, you imagine a mechanic who's just afraid of grease. Like, that's part of the job.
Right.
If you're a mechanic,
it's like the guy washing his hands after every oil change.
That's the worst job if you don't like being dirty.
No, yeah, you can't do it.
The grease never comes off. If you do it every day.
I worked in an auto shop for 3 years. My fingernails were always black.
Yeah,
always.
I changed my oil, and it takes a week or two to get my hands back to where they were.
Yep.
It's like, like you said, it gets under the fingernails, and you wash, and it still smells like oil.
Yep.
So yeah, not for him.
No.
At age 21, he was fired after being suspected of stealing from a cash box. That was at his next job in an insurance and advertising firm. But he started to learn higher finance, and that helped him later on to try and scam people. He became one of the earlier scammers. On July 6, 1934, Hay married 23-year-old Beatrice Betty Hammer. Unfortunately, their marriage would not last long, and that's partially because they never got married in the first place. They had just met each other, and it was just passionate, and then they just got...
The book kind of glanced over this. It made me feel like she was very hesitant, but I guess he was just so persuasive.
He was charismatic and good looking at this time, and that's a lot of times he would swindle people.
In almost every picture, that dude's looking dapper as hell.
Yeah, he's got a vibe. Yeah. He's always well dressed.
Yeah.
And interesting part, after he was executed, they wanted to put like a clay version of his body or whatever.
Uh-huh.
They actually molded his face before he was killed. I didn't want to forget this later on.
Okay.
But they asked him if they could do that before he was executed so that they could recreate him in like a clay fashion or whatever. And he was like all about it. And then he like told them, you better have my hair parted this direction.
Oh my God.
You better have my fucking suit pressed
What
perfectly.
are you going to do about it, bro?
So if you really want to capture my essence, my clothes have to be perfect. My hair's got to be parted right at 13 degrees.
He's going to be a statue that everybody pisses behind or some shit.
Right. Seriously. He's got like gum stuck to his hair.
Pigeons are shitting on his shoulders.
Yeah, let's only hope. Hay proposed to Betty after a whirlwind courtship, and the two had not known each other for very long. Betty had second thoughts and was concerned Hay was not the person that she thought he was, but for whatever reason, she went ahead with the marriage.
Come on, women, follow your intuition, right?
Right, yeah. If you got a weird vibe about it, dude, you're probably right.
Probably right.
After the wedding, John and Betty moved into his parents' house. John, that's a good idea. Move into your super crazy religious
conservative
family. Over
family.
the top with fucking prison walls around their house to keep the outside world out.
Right, completely throw your
Move
brand
your new wife in there.
wife
That's gonna be
that
fun.
barely knows you into a completely different environment.
Right. Oh, we didn't talk about the mark on his dad's head. That's a big part of this case.
Oh my God.
So from the time that John was a child, he was convinced, this is when he was a young very what's the word?
Influential.
Easily influenced and everything. And his father is telling him, he sees this. His father has some, I don't know if it's a birthmark or some kind of
it's probably just a
burn.
birthmark,
He has
man.
something on his head,
Or he got burnt
on his forehead. It's not sightly. It's an ugly mark.
It's a skin discoloration, pretty much, of some sort, regardless of whether it was caused by a chemical or a birthmark or whatever.
Yeah, he has a mark on his head, and his father convinced him that this was the mark of sinning, essentially. Like his father had done some bad things.
The mark of Cain.
Yeah, his father had done some bad things as a child, and he got that mark for it. And his mother was saintly; she had no marks. That's because she lived a clean lifestyle or whatever. And so they were basically trying to convince him that if he did anything bad, he was going to get a mark like his father.
That is so damn manipulative. Like, you better be a good person. You want one of these ugly marks on your face?
Right.
Everyone will know that you're not a good person.
Although the turning point was when young John couldn't help himself and did some bad stuff. Didn't get the mark.
Didn't get any marks. Still looked dapper as hell.
Still looked dapper as hell. He's like, you know what?
Shit.
I'm thinking this is some bullshit.
Well, shit, mate. I think it might be okay.
That was quite Australian. Man.
Ah, damn it.
I think I'm going to go kill fucking
crocodile.
Yeah, I got way too Australian. Damn it. I had it going good earlier.
Where you tap into your Russell Brand. Tap into your Russell Brand. What would Russell Brand say about this mark on his head?
Now I don't even know.
All right, it's gone.
I think we make our own marks in the world, mate. I think that's what we do. The marks aren't given to us. They're not
It's not
given
an
upon your
actual
brow.
physical mark. It's a metaphysical type of...
It's a mark that only people on the same level as you can see, mate.
Right. Yeah. That's deep, bro.
That's deep.
Yeah. John decided to strike out on his own and started a business. Unfortunately, his business evolved into forging documents for vehicles, and he was soon caught. So he started this young business.
I can't believe they even cared about that. How many vehicles did they have? Like 3? They're going to be forging documents on these things.
Right, the ones with bicycle tires.
Right. How many cars did
Lawnmower
they have
engine
at
on
that
it.
time?
Haigh was arrested for fraud and sentenced to 15 months in October 1934. By November, Betty had left him. So he's locked up for forgery and
Betty was like, okay, yeah, I was right. Let me get out of here.
yeah, you know what? That weird feeling I had about you? It turns out I should have went with that. Should have went with that. Problem was, by the time she left him, she was already pregnant with his child. When Haigh was arrested, Betty had been pregnant, and she ended up giving birth while he was in prison. After giving birth, she decided to give the child up for adoption, which might have been a good decision, actually.
Yeah, his family hated that shit, though.
Yes,
oh
his super religious family was not happy about that.
I mean, they don't like the fact he's in prison or killing people or robbing or they don't like any of that stuff either.
But man, they wanted a new baby to indoctrinate with their
seriously
super religious
another
beliefs.
chance. Let's wash him in the blood.
Right. The first one turned out so well with our upbringing. Let's see what we can do with the second one.
He was just a bad.
Can we get a redo? That's the kid's name's redo. Following these events, his conservative family ostracized him for the rest of his life. He was also shunned by the Brethren. Oh, not the Brethren.
Oh, come on. My favorite place to go.
Right, not the peculiar kind, or the peculiar brethren over there. They're all upset about me and my decisions. John was shocked that he was ostracized, and his mother was convinced that everyone turning their back on John was going to affect him later in life. Haigh would then move to London in 1936 and become a chauffeur to William McSwan, a wealthy owner of amusement arcades.
Well, that's not what I thought it was at all. William McSwan sounds like, I don't know, it sounds like a law firm or something.
Sounds like a dude that would have money, though. McSwan.
Definitely McSwan.
McSwan. Yeah, that guy's flying first class.
I'd like to change my name to McSwan. You know, somebody did. They weren't McSwans. They weren't
true.
McSwans that were like shoe cobblers or blacksmiths. No, they one of them made it and they were like, forget that petty surname.
Right.
I would like to change it to McSwan.
Definitely something it wasn't a birth name. McSwan, definitely. Somebody changed their name to McSwan.
They had to have.
And then they had like a family crest with a swan on it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They used to call me the ugly duckling. Who's laughing now?
Yeah, well, this McSwan, William, was a wealthy owner of amusement arcades. Haigh also did the maintenance on McSwan's amusement machines. John and William eventually became good friends, and William introduced John to his parents. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so John gets out of prison.
Wait, are they dating now?
What?
I'm just kidding. He said,
oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
that's the way the book said it too. I was just like, damn. I was like, but then I thought he would totally go to that extent to kill somebody for money. He would totally. Yeah, I think he would. He would pose as a gay person.
And guess what? It worked out because he ended up getting their money too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this William McSwan liked John so much, and I'm guessing John didn't tell him about his prison stints.
I doubt it.
Because McSwan had hired him to work for his business.
Yeah, you're supposed to exploit that information. Right? You're
Yeah.
supposed to give that information.
Yeah,
up.
that's part of your resume.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
But worst case scenario, you get fired though.
They couldn't really-
it's kind of worth the shot.
They also couldn't just pull you up on Google and look up your criminal record back then either.
Can you get?
They pretty much had to go with what you said, like whatever your background was. They're
Like-
not going to go to the police department and be like, hey, have you heard anything on this guy here?
If you lie on a resume, you don't get arrested, right?
No.
You just get fired.
You don't get hired.
So here's.
You don't get hired. You don't even get fired. You just don't get hired.
Well, if they find out.
Oh, if they find
but
out.
most people who lie on a resume, they do it because they know they're going to get hired. And then they find out later, then they get fired. It's like, well, shit, I would never had the job at all if I was told the truth.
Right.
So it's not a very good technique. It's not a very good technique, mate.
You're not living your
It's
life
not,
right,
it's not
mate.
very good, mate.
So William McSwan takes old John back to see his parents, and right away, McSwan's parents are loving this guy. They even promoted him to the role of manager in a short amount of time. However, after about a year, Haigh left the McSwan's employ and struck out on his own. He basically just didn't like working for people, and that's what this whole case kind of
Imagine
comes
that.
down to.
Nobody fucking does, bro.
He was always. That's true, but he took it to an extreme. Like this
he
guy really did not like working a 9 to 5. He would do it impressively for a little while, and I think it was for that exact motive to impress his boss and hopefully get another opportunity or whatever.
Oh, absolutely. And
He was known
saw
as a good
some-
employee for the places that he did work, but it never lasted long because he just was not that kind of guy that was going to stick around. He's always looking for the next scam. He's looking to make easy money that he doesn't have to work for. He
That's absolutely
did
right.
not like being on the payroll there.
No. Well, he saw a person who was wealthy and he was able to get close to easily.
Yeah.
And he just did what he had to do, just like in every situation. Whatever it was to get close to these people, he was a chameleon, man. He would figure out a way to blend in.
Yeah. Keep in mind the McSwans because they're going to pop back up in this story. But as for now, he leaves working for them and goes off to be his own boss, which was John the solicitor. Next.
No soliciting, please.
Yeah. Haigh set up an office, pretended to be a solicitor / lawyer named William Cato Adamson, with offices in Chancery Lane, London, Guildford, Surrey, and Hastings and Sussex. So I'm sure I
This is
butchered half
fucking
those British
bold,
names.
dude. This is
Pretending
like
to be
something,
your own, pretending to be a lawyer.
yeah, like Frank Abagnale.
Oh yeah, Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, he was a great con man.
Yeah.
But this guy was way ahead of him. He was
Yeah.
like making fake businesses pretty much.
Yeah.
Like I saw an article from Vice where a guy made like a fake festival and shit. Well, no, there's a documentary on the fake festival.
Oh, I love
was
that. The
created.
Fire Festival?
Yeah.
Did you watch that on
No, I
Netflix? Dude, on Netflix.
I just read about it.
You should
Yeah,
watch
I
it.
bet.
It's
Yeah.
fascinating. It's
will.
fascinating seeing that whole thing fall apart.
Yeah.
With his lofty goals. He just wanted that immediate credit
It
for...
was so much easier to do that back then.
It was
wasn't
such a
it? Because people couldn't just Google and see like, oh,
Yeah.
does he really have a branch in Chapman or whatever?
Dude, that
You
documentary
can't
was
look around.
was comical. Like it was a comedy to me. I was laughing. I was just laughing at that guy so hard. The more it got out of hand,
Yeah.
and he was just trying to like act like it was no big deal. It's still gonna happen somehow. It's like, dude, there's no way. Every sign points to this thing being a shit show,
Right.
And he's just ignoring like the complete evidence right in front of him. Like, no,
Dude,
no, it's gonna be great. Just
it
keep
till you
working.
make
Just
it,
keep
dude.
working.
Fake it till you make it, dude.
He was, yeah.
And it
Well, he got
worked.
exposed when
Yeah.
it came down to it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's an
Worked for a
interesting
little while, though,
documentary.
didn't
Yeah.
Didn't he make a lot of money? But he had to give it back.
Oh
or
yeah,
something?
he got locked up for that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a shit show.
Wow.
A lot of people. Also, the people that just went ahead and spent thousands of dollars for like VIP shit and didn't really look into it more at all. They're just like they had to be a part of it. They ended up having a terrible week that week.
Power of social media, dude.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Not
The
sure if they're going to
influence.
get a plane ride home or if they were just stuck on this island and everything.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Everybody needs to watch social media very closely for like politics and everything because it's already telling you what's going to happen.
Things are not always what they seem
No.
with people. Yeah, so he's got this scam going where he pretends to be a lawyer and he's selling fraudulent stock shares allegedly from the estates of the deceased clients that he had at below market rates. So he's giving these people a fantastic deal on stock shares.
Right.
They think.
That they have no way of researching.
And of
Man,
course he
that
would
was
have
so
them
easy back then.
And of course he would have them pay for these up front.
Oh, of course.
He would cash their checks and then move on. That was his whole plan. It was like, I know I can't stick around here, so I'm going to move to another area.
Cash me check if you can.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, this scam can only go so long before you've burned every little town you go into. You do this to
Yeah.
people, and then you just got people following you.
Right.
Looking
That's
over
why
your
you got to get
shoulder.
rid of the people. That's the problem.
Yeah. That's what he comes to find out, Michael. That's brilliant foresight.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Foreshadowing.
Yeah. Because they would eventually come knocking, asking about their shares, John moved his office several times. His scam was eventually uncovered by someone who noticed he had misspelled Guilford as Guilford. Guilford as Guilford? Ooh. On his letterhead.
Common misconception.
Yeah. An unlikely mistake from an educated solicitor.
Oh.
John was once again arrested and back in court on fraud charges.
Damn,
Fraud
over
charges.
the spelling?
Okay, maybe I underestimated these peeps back then.
Well, it was just a matter of time. He was going to get caught. He's just taking all these checks, cashing
Yeah,
them,
but
giving
who
nothing
would
back.
look at that and go like, this spelling's weird. I better call the police. I would just fucking throw it away. I'd just be like, whatever.
Yeah, so it
Some
was
real determined citizens there.
basically all he did. The mistake he made was removing the D from Guildford, and he put Guilford
Crucial.
on his letterhead.
Rookie mistake, right?
I mean, if you were a true lawyer named Guildford, you wouldn't misspell your own name, would you?
Oh, it was his own name?
Yeah, Guildford.
Oh, I thought it was one of the client shares names or whatever that he was selling.
No, it was on his letterhead.
Damn, on the letterhead.
Yeah, bro. Unlikely. That's a rookie mistake,
Oh,
bro.
just like little mistake there, mate. You don't have to worry about it too much.
John was once again arrested and back in court on fraud charges. Haigh received a 4-year prison sentence for fraud. It's basically like they're looking at like his history now, and they're going,
Yeah.
dude, this is what you do. We let you out, and then you go right back to fraud.
Right.
He would be released just after the start of the Second World War. He continued his plan of income by fraud and was sentenced to several further terms of imprisonment. And while behind bars, this is when he starts to really think, well, how can I stop getting caught for like
Right.
stealing people's shit?
Let's see.
Maybe if
people
they-
keep telling on me, mate. Maybe if
What could shut them up?
maybe death.
Well, I just blew my own mind.
We could use a massive amount of duct tape if it were invented, but I think killing them would be much easier.
Call back.
Oh, man. I just had this image of, what do they call them? Archaeologists. They're like
Yeah.
digging deep, and then they get the little dusting thing that looks like what people powder, like women powder their cheeks
Right.
with. They start dusting, and then all of a sudden it's like a roll of duct tape.
Whoa. And like a piece of it's pulled back and their brush sticks to it and they can't get it off.
And they're like, "This is incredible."
What is
They're
this
just slinging it around with their brush.
material? I've never
Whoa.
experienced it before in my life.
Such adhesion.
Oh, and then the next thing you know, they're using duct tape wallets, and it's just out of control.
Duct tape prom dresses and shit.
Haigh eventually came to realize that his repeated arrests stemmed from leaving his victims alive to report the crime.
Yeah. That's what was happening for sure.
Yeah. And also, while behind bars, thinking about that, he became intrigued by the crimes of French murderer George Alexander Sarret, who in 1925 had disposed of his victims' bodies by using sulphuric acid, also popularized in Breaking Bad. I believe that's the acid he was using, right? Sulphuric acid or
think
something
so.
along those lines.
Yeah.
A very acidic, caustic soda
Dissolvent.
type of super, intense
Yeah.
chemical that just fucking melts everything.
Dude, you nailed it.
Yeah, bro. Bro science. Hashtag. While in prison, Haigh formulated his plan to dispose of the body of murder victims by dissolving them in acid. He experimented with field mice and found that it only took 30 minutes for the full body of a mouse to dissolve. So he then said,
He's
"Oh, yeah."
saying only, and I'm like, damn, that's a long time, dude.
30
We
minutes
are a
to
lot
dissolve
bigger
a
than a
mouse.
mouse.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not saying it's going to take 30 minutes for a human, but
No, I know that.
a few days.
But I would be doing the math, which I'm sure he was, and was like, oh, shit, that's a long fucking time.
Right. I just find it interesting that he was able to do these experiments while in prison. He's like in the workshop, like melting mice over
Yeah,
there.
why are
and
they
they
giving
don't-
prisoners sulfuric acid? Wait a minute,
For
this is a
cleaning.
huge hole in
I
this
just
story.
think chemicals were taken lightly back in the 40s. It was just like,
What, he wasn't using concentrated 409?
be careful
or,
with that
like-
shit over there. It'll melt your body.
Don't.
Oh, really? Mate, your body. So you got them rats on here?
Yeah. You just gave me an idea, mate.
You're going Charles Bronson.
Hey, gotta do what you gotta do.
You just gave me an idea, mate.
Charles Bronson actually ended up in the prison that this guy ended up in.
That's
as well.
right. That's right.
So,
With the
Suck
most,
on that.
The most violent, right?
Yeah.
Only Britain's most violent ended up in there.
so let's get into the acid bath murders. Haigh was freed from prison in 1943 and became an accountant with an engineering firm. I love how he keeps getting arrested for fraud and he gets a job as an accountant
Seriously.
for an engineering firm. You know he's lying on that fucking resume.
Yeah, he's obviously lying.
For sure, like vast experience and working numbers.
And you're
you know.
also forgetting that he parts his hair to the left, so he's pretty fucking amazing.
Right.
He's an amazing guy.
I just picture him laughing while he's writing his
dapper.
resume, like as a vast number with a vast history with numbers and
Yeah, you
tons
can
of
say anything.
experience ripping people off.
There was no
scratches that out, then writes.
There was no, what is it, LinkedIn? There was no LinkedIn back then. You couldn't like look at somebody's whole fucking Facebook profile attached to their work resume.
Right.
You can't look people up. It's whatever you said was it, you know?
And he probably could prove to them he was good with numbers. They probably gave him a few math questions and shit. I could rip you off for this much.
You think so? They give him a little math quiz before?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Soon after, by chance, he bumped into his former employer, McSwan.
McSwan.
He saw that big,
Perfect.
he saw that big crest on the back of his jacket sitting
That's
at the bar
right.
with the swan on it.
He started seeing dollar signs.
McSwan. It's McSwan. Cha-ching, cha-ching. They were at the
Shut up, Charlie. You're not getting in on this morning.
right. This was at the Goat Pub in Kensington where he ran into him. McSwan took Haigh home to visit his parents yet again.
Okay,
Mom, he's back.
Hey,
My
look.
old fling's back.
He hasn't been in prison on anything.
Right.
He's just been doing honest work.
Yeah. They were thrilled to see John and made the mistake of telling him all about the new property investments that they had just made.
Oh, jeez.
That is a mistake.
I think they probably told everyone that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The name like McSwan.
McSwan, they're braggers.
They're
For sure, the
braggers.
McSwans talk about their
Y'all
finances.
are braggers, McSwans.
William then worked for them by collecting rents on the London properties, and Haigh became envious of his lifestyle. On September 6, 1944, William McSwan disappeared.
Oh, shit.
Haigh later admitted to hitting him over the head after luring him into a basement at 79 Gloucester Road in London. According to Hay's diary, he then slit McSwan's throat for good measure, filled the cup with the man's blood, and drank it. And he
Bullshit.
had some,
bullshit. All that's bullshit.
some vampirism in here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that was the diary was
Yeah.
truly a means of him trying to defend
Yep.
himself as
The-
far
the-
as insanity.
The whole diary was just in case I get caught, I'm going to look fucking insane.
I feel like he wrote it after he was already locked up and then like had it
I don't
mailed
know,
back
I think
to his
he
house.
was
or
writing it.
something.
I think he was writing it because I think part of it was he needed to get it out.
Yeah.
Because imagine doing that kind of stuff and not telling anybody.
Yeah.
You got to get it out.
That's true.
So you would get it out, and then also he's like, "This is a perfect defense. You're making up all this stuff, making up these
Drinking
the
blood.
drinking of the blood part, and all that stuff is perfect for insanity. And
Yeah.
if it's been here all along, you can kind of tell how old
Yeah.
writings are and things
I
like
feel
that.
like if you're like truly sexual sadist with the blood thing where you can't help yourself and you have to have blood, you're going to be like the vampire Dusseldorf, like that episode we did where you like stab people in public and start drinking the blood. Like that's going to be true. Like you're true vampire.
Yeah, that's that by definition right there. Yeah, that's a vampire.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like you're not like setting them up to get financial gain for months, like hanging around, like,
Right.
and then like, you know what? I'll also drink your blood though.
Yeah, I have a little taste.
I want, don't get me wrong. I want your properties and your jewelry,
Right.
but also your blood's looking pretty good.
Right. You don't want it to go to waste.
It's all warm, pouring. It's like,
Yeah.
I gotta have some.
Yeah, blood would be a great consistency for like a slushy.
You think so?
Yeah, if you poured blood over ice and it was cold.
A blood icy?
Yeah, because you ever seen the syrup that they put
It
in
is thick.
ices? Yeah, it's very
That's
blood-like.
why they
Like,
use
if it
corn
spills on
syrup.
the floor, it
They
looks
use
like
corn syrup for horror movies.
That's right
For that reason. It's
Well,
a
oh
syrup.
yeah, well there you go. That might be why I'm drawing this.
So if you want an irony tasting
Similarities.
snow cone, come to Michael.
Right. Listen, you were talking about an excuse for dancing with dead bodies, so
True.
or half dead bodies.
Yeah, we just find it hard to stay on track with this case for some
What's
reason.
going on?
Haigh then put McSwan's body into a 40-gallon drum and poured concentrated sulphuric acid into it. 2 days later, he returned to find that the body had become sludge, which he poured down a manhole. Now, this is about as far as he went to dispose of the sludge that he would acquire from putting the bodies in sulfuric acid.
Right.
He got very cocky and just started pouring it like in the property.
He felt very
out in the
untouchable,
yard,
man.
like, this'll work.
Right.
Everybody has toxic sludge in their yard, right? That's got like pieces of body in it.
Yes,
No big
gallstones
deal.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody does. No big deal.
Yeah. Don't trip over the dentures on your way in.
Dude, I think it was just a pride thing. I think it was like, even if somebody found it, there's no way they would
It
tie
was
it to
an
him.
ego thing.
Yeah.
He became ultra confident when he didn't get caught for the first couple murders,
Right.
and he was living off the money of the victim.
What's up, creepers? Let me tell you about a little company we've been working with called HelloFresh. HelloFresh is a meal kit delivery service that shops, plans, and delivers step-by-step recipes and pre-measured ingredients so you can just cook, eat, and enjoy. HelloFresh makes conquering the kitchen a reality with delicious, simple recipes. HelloFresh does all the meal planning, shopping, and prepping, so you can focus on a healthier you and a happier family. Cooking is really just more enjoyable and easy with HelloFresh. Fresh, pre-measured ingredients and easy-to-follow 6-step picture recipe cards are delivered to your door each week in a special insulated box. Spend less time meal planning and grocery shopping so you can get that time back to do more of what you love. All meals come together in less than 30 minutes, call for less than 2 pots and pans, and require minimal cleanup. Make family dinners fuss-free with HelloFresh's picky eater, kid-tested, and approved family plan recipes. Help make deliciousness part of your every week. With 3 plans to choose from, classic, veggie, and family, with the option to switch between for when your tastes change. Enjoy fun menu features with HelloFresh's dinner to lunch, 20-minute meals, gourmet, and one-pot wonders, among more. Get out of that recipe rut and start cooking outside of your comfort zone by discovering new, delicious recipes. Happy to report that I've actually been able to try out HelloFresh for you guys, and it really is delicious and easy to make these meals. So far, my favorite meal has been the chicken cheddar fajitas with bell pepper, lime crema, and pickled jalapeno. Delicious. For $80 off your first month of HelloFresh, go to HelloFresh.com/Creeper80 and enter promo code Creeper80. That's HelloFresh.com/Creeper80 and enter the promo code Creeper80.
Carrying out his plan and finding it successful was euphoric for John, but he wasn't done yet. Now he had to get the money. That was the whole goal of the plan to begin with. He told McSwan's parents that their son had gone into hiding in Scotland to avoid being called up for military service.
Oh, told
That's a stretch,
Told his
right?
parents that he was a draft dodger,
And his parents
too.
wouldn't say, like, he wouldn't say bye to his parents. Like, McSwan was close with his parents. He brought his new boyfriends home every time.
They were obviously very supportive.
Yes.
Good for them.
Yes, but he just, that just doesn't make sense, right? You just
No.
take off to avoid military service, but you don't even say bye to your parents that
God,
you're close to.
You kill a man, you take his money, and then you tell his parents that he was a shitty person.
And even still, the parents are like, but I still like this John character. Like,
Thank God you're here to deliver the news,
yeah,
John.
thank God you're here to lie about my son's disappearance. Such a nice guy. This ruse went on for almost a year, and Haigh went so far as to send McSwan's letters from William. So
Wow.
he's sending letters in their son's handwriting.
How? That's what I was just
He
about
must have
to
gotten
say.
a hold of some of William's writings, and he was very good at forging shit, obviously, from his background.
That's impressive. Well, he's got money to float him now, so he's got a lot of free time to do shit like that, I would think.
Yeah. John then took over the McSwan's house and began collecting the rents for his parents. He also wanted the money from the properties, however. So he's collecting rent. He's working for them, collecting the rent like his
Right.
son, like their son used to do.
Right. Like the son they used to could count on.
Yeah. But being paid to collect the rents isn't enough. He would rather just get the rent money from all the people.
Right.
Just keep that.
Just cut the middleman.
Yeah. Why not just get more money?
Right.
That's how he looked at things.
Absolutely. Why not raise the rent?
Fuck who I have to kill or step on or whatever,
Yeah.
or laws I have to break.
It's all about money.
More money is better.
Hair gel ain't cheap, dude.
Yeah, dude, like keeping this suit
right.
pressed. I'm not
Dude,
doing it. I got to pay
right.
somebody to do that.
Exactly.
And I'm going to stay at high-priced hotels every night because why not?
Yeah. It's always good when you break down a person and it just makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
Just makes sense.
Donald and Amy eventually became curious as to why their son had not returned as the war was coming to an end. On July 2nd, 1945, Haigh lured them to Gloucester Road by telling them that their son was back from Scotland for a surprise visit.
Oh.
Once they arrived, Haigh murdered them in his basement with blows to the head and disposed of them. He slit their throats and supposedly drank their blood as well, and also put their bodies in barrels of acid that he had waiting for them.
Right.
Also pretty creepy that he's actually got like 2 barrels down there with acid ready for them, you know.
Why is that creepy?
It's just the premeditation is just,
Well, that's obvious.
there's a
though.
certain level of it. I know, but when it's like the barrels are there, it's like one of them might as well have their name on them. That's just creepy to me, you know what I
That
mean?
is creepy. But they wouldn't assume, oh, there's 2 barrels. There's 2 of us.
I know that, but I'm talking about it's
Okay.
creepy that
Just
he did that.
because you're as an outsider, you're watching this like a movie and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's creepy. Look at those 2 barrels sitting there in the dark moonlight.
Just imagining being him, setting out the 2 barrels like it's Christmas Eve, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kill
unloading
these
them
2
off the
tomorrow.
hand truck.
Yeah, just having them. I just imagine his dimly lit basement with 2 barrels, halfway
dude,
filled with
definitely.
acid, just waiting for the victims to come.
And they're just lightly sizzling.
This is why I say he's like what was it, the Komodo dragon or whatever, human Komodo dragon?
Yeah,
the
something.
preparation that he put into place, and it's all just for financial gain.
You said something monster. It's like a
Gila monster.
he's
yeah.
the monster. Gila monster.
I could be wrong on both of these. I'm pretty sure the Gila monster is the one with the super venomous fangs where they just have to like barely bite you and you're screwed like a week later.
They have to be to get a name like that.
Right?
It's a badass name.
When you got monster in your name,
Komodo dragon's pretty badass too.
it says
though.
what it needs to say, right? You literally part of
Yeah.
your name is monster.
Literally, scientists
Like
were like
even
no,
sharks don't have that. A shark
it's
should be
just a
shark monster, but
Shouldn't we name him something more scientific? I mean, we could, but we really want
But
people
look
to
at
know
this-
this is a fucking monster
look
right
at this
here.
fucking thing. It's literally got venom dripping from its fangs as it stares at its victim that it bit a week ago.
I could just see him like jumping up against the lab glass, just licking it with their venomous
Right.
tongue.
Yeah, dude, they are
Yeah, it's definitely a monster, bro.
truly monsters. Haigh stole William McSwan's pension checks and sold the family's property, stealing about 8,000 pounds, which at the time was 10,800. Oh, that's 8,000 euros at the time, 10,800 pounds, over $150,000 in today's money.
Right. It's 10,800 at the time in US dollars. It's just
Yeah,
a
we don't understand British currency all that well, so
well,
bear with us.
theirs is worth more than ours. So it's like 8,000 euros would have been 10,000 money, and it's still I think it's
It
still pretty
doesn't-
close to that same ratio
Cue
now.
the brand. It doesn't mean we're better than you, mates. You know, it just means
It doesn't mean that our dollars are worth more than your dollars. It's just
I mean,
we
technically
have
it
a more
does, but-
balanced economy, mate. When your money is worth more, it's just better.
you have to understand the history.
You don't have to carry around a bigger pocket of money, see, and you can buy the same amount of materials.
Right.
But I don't do materials.
I had to add that. I'm sorry.
But I do expect to be paid after this interview's conclusion.
Yeah.
I don't do as good. I just need to like feed lines to you to say. Unfortunately, Haigh was a gambler and again running short on money by the summer of 1947, even after collecting $150,000 in today's U.S. money equivalency.
Right.
So that's a good payday. That's like
Dude, 150
for
grand.
most people, that's 2 or 3 years worth of work. If you make really good money, then maybe you make that in a year. But that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I would say middle America.
Especially
Yeah,
when
they-
you're a
that's 2 or 3
loner.
years.
When you're a loner, you know, you're just kind of staying in hotels and shit. But man, he burned through some money fast.
Hell yeah.
He must have been living high on the hog. To solve his financial troubles after he started running low on the last victim's money, he found another couple to kill and rob, Dr. Archibald Henderson and his wife Rose, whom he murdered after feigning interest in the house they were selling. So,
Savage.
Yeah, so any in he could get, he would tell them what they wanted to hear.
Yep.
He was invited to the Hendersons' flat by Rose to play the piano for their housewarming party.
Which he could do. God, he's such a freaking
Right?
charmer.
Using all of his skills. It's not even
Man,
fair, really.
That
This
is not
guy's
fair. I mean, looking as dapper as he does and then jumping on the piano, no wonder they fucking gave him his money.
Human Gila monster, bro.
Damn it, he earned it.
While at the flat, Haigh stole Archibald Henderson's revolver, planning to use it in his next crime.
Oh my God.
He ends up killing this guy with his own gun that he
Yeah.
stole out of his house.
Doesn't
Haigh-
he keep it too?
yeah.
He doesn't even care
Yeah,
to get
the
rid
cops
of it.
ended up finding that gun.
Yeah, he didn't even get rid of it.
Haigh rented a small workshop in Leopold Road in Sussex and moved the acid and storage drums there from Gloucester Road. He was also known to have stayed at Crowley's George Hotel on several occasions. And on February 12, 1948, he drove Henderson to Crawley on the pretext of showing him an invention that he had come up with. So this is he decided that he was going to divide the couple because it'd be easier to kill them separate, obviously,
Right.
especially killing the man first. He's the bigger threat.
Right. And he doesn't
So-
like to get his hands dirty, so he wants everything to go as
Clean,
planned. It's
smooth.
got to be very clean. Yeah.
Yeah, so Haigh and Henderson arrive to John Hay's shop where he's going to show Henderson this new invention he's come up with.
Right.
They arrive, and as soon as they walk in the room, it's like, I guess like the scene in Goodfellas where they walk in and immediately Haigh just shoots him right when they walk into the shop. Shot him in the head with a stolen revolver that he had gotten from Henderson's house.
Right.
He then lured Miss Henderson into the workshop, later claiming that her husband had fallen ill. As soon as she walked in, he shot her as well. This is super dark. You when you think about how this went down, he meets this McSwan, the son, goes into business with him. They like each other. He then quits the business, and it could have ended there.
Right.
He goes off, does fraud, goes to prison, gets out, runs into McSwan at the bar, and that ends up that event, him running into him at the bar, ends in the younger McSwan being killed and his parents being killed, and everything they've ever owned being taken
Just
from
wrong
this guy.
place, wrong time, man.
It's crazy.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
Because it's not. I mean, it's not like it would have been easy to look him up, and he probably wouldn't have. He probably had already written them off. But the fact that he ran
Yeah.
into him, he was like, "Damn, this is a golden
It's
opportunity."
fate. Yeah,
This
he
is
probably
fate.
looked at it as fate. Like I'm
Yeah.
supposed to kill and
Right.
And
I
think,
still don't have a mark on my face. I must still be doing good.
Yeah, and
What if his
he-
dad
he
fucked him up with that?
Initially, didn't even intend in killing McSwan's parents, but
Yeah.
it was kind of McSwan's trust in this guy to keep bringing him back to see his parents that opened that door. Mm-hmm. As McSwans do, they start bragging about their finances.
Right?
He should have known.
That's absolutely right.
Once he had dispatched of the Hendersons, Haigh returned to the hotel and paid their bill to make it look like they had checked out and left. He made sure to also go up to their room and empty it out. He ended up selling the valuables for profit. After disposing of the Hendersons' bodies in oil drums filled with acid, he forged a letter from them and sold all of their remaining possessions, except the dog and their car, which he kept.
He loves dogs.
So he's driving around in their car with their dog. That's truly taking their life away.
You know what? That must have been a damn well-behaved dog if he took it, because I just don't see... I know he loves animals and everything, but with all the ruthless killing he's done, you really think he cares really about
I'd like
dogs?
to think that if my dog saw me get murdered, she would be like, fuck you, bro, and like run away. She wouldn't become that dog, that new murderer's owner or pet.
Yeah,
You know, like, wouldn't
I
take-
would hope that my dog would attack the person.
Well, yeah, I can't expect that from her.
Right. Well,
Ro, though, your dog might.
yeah, that's
Your big German Shepherd.
I really would hope.
I'd like to
do
think
that.
he would, or else
Yeah.
what else is he good for?
He's very good at determining your
Just kidding.
your
He's a good
intent.
dog.
He's
Yeah.
very good in yeah. It's like when people come over who are friends, like he's never aggressive ever. Like he realizes it. But if somebody like walks by the thing and I'm like, man, who's that? It's like he can sense it. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, who's that?
Right.
And he'll just bark at him.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, so after murdering the Hendersons, Haigh also sent letters to Rose's brother to make him think that the couple was still alive. This is something he commonly did. He would basically become their power of attorney, these victims, so that he could take all their shit. He's writing letters to authority figures as them saying, look, we moved away to this place or
Right.
whatever. Yeah, he's very good at forging shit.
Was he though?
He
Man,
was.
This just doesn't
But
seem
then
like
again,
a good plan
it was
at all.
easier. It was probably easier time to do it.
Yeah.
In the 40s.
I guess
They get a
so.
letter. They're just going to assume it's from the person that says it is.
Yeah, I guess so. Frank Abagnale would have like took their signature off of something and like
Yeah, he would have took the
Scanned
Swan,
it in
the
and
McSwan
printed
family
it
crest
out,
wax
fucking
stamp and
made
used
it.
that.
yeah, he would have went way better than this guy.
Yeah. Writing as Rose, he claimed that Dr. Henderson had performed an abortion for someone, which was illegal at the time, and had to flee the area. Rose then told her brother they were fleeing to South Africa. I guess,
Yeah, Rose in quotes.
yeah. When Haigh dumped the barrels containing the remains of the Hendersons, the acid hadn't quite worked as well, and one of Rose's feet was still intact.
He was like, whatever, mate.
Yeah. There's a foot there, you know.
Oh, I'm gonna dump it over there.
Are you going to make a big deal
in
of
the
a
corner
foot?
of the garden, anyways? Ain't
foot-
nobody gonna see it.
Foot's never going to talk in court, is it? Nevertheless, he felt untouchable and proceeded to dump them in the corner of the yard next to his shop. This is what I'm saying.
Right next to the shop.
The brashness. He literally kills them in the shop and then just dumps them right out.
You know
in the
what
yard.
happened? He probably.
If the cops show up, they have to basically walk past the body sludge.
You know what probably happened was he was carrying it out, and as it was sloshing around, some of it probably got on one of his shoes, and he was like, "Fuck this," and he just kicked the damn thing over.
I could see that.
I could totally
truly
see
could
him doing
that
that
with him.
Yeah, and he's wearing like I don't know, like gator skin shoes or something like really fancy.
Yeah. On my shoes, mate. Fucking just blames them somehow and kicks the barrel over.
Motherfucker fucking up my life even in the afterlife.
Yeah.
God damn it.
By February of 1949, Haig's funds were once again running low, burned through the Hendersons' money already.
Yeah, of course.
And this last victim, number 6, would be the one that where he really he met his match. He picked the wrong person. He thought it was a perfect plan, but she was too well liked in her community. Haig's next and last victim was Olive Durand Deacon, age 69, who was a wealthy widow of solicitor John Durand Deacon. Now, we say solicitor, but I guess that was a lawyer at the time, right?
Yeah,
So we keep saying that, but it sounds like a bad thing. But
he was basically just
he was a lawyer.
selling his law services door to door.
Yeah.
It seemed like just whoever he ran into.
Yeah, and Olive was a fellow resident at the Onslow Court Hotel where Haigh had been staying. And so she's just another woman at the hotel he's staying at on other people's money.
Right.
Haigh, by then, was calling himself an engineer, and Olive mentioned an idea that she had for artificial fingernails. So this lady might have been the first press-on nail person. Damn. If he hadn't have killed her.
Motherfucker.
Shit, that's a brilliant. I mean, I don't know if it had been invented now, but it's this story you would be led to believe that
look it
press-on
up.
nails had not been
This was
invented yet.
1949.
The wrong
Okay.
person got credit for press-on nails because of John Haigh. He
That's
killed
the
the
real crime
original.
here.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up right here. We're pulling that up, Jamie.
Pull it up, young Jamie.
1970s. Acrylic
No
nails,
way.
also known as press-on nails or fake nails, were first invented in the
No
1970s.
way. This is 1949. She was 20 years ahead.
Wow.
and he killed her.
Wow.
Just think of all the money he could have made had he just gone with her.
He should have just
Instead
invested.
of killing her, he could have invested in press-on nails in 1949.
Oh, dude,
this fucking idiot.
He should have killed someone else rich, took that money, invested, and then he'd never have to kill again.
He didn't even need to. He just needed to be partial stockholder in fucking acrylic
That's
nails.
true. He could afford a small piece.
Right.
Or probably a large
just
piece.
being her friend, she would have given him like just helping her because he's
Damn
got the
it.
workshop, so he's going to get a certain percentage.
Yeah.
If he got 2% of press-on nails for the rest of his life, he'd be balling. Let's just say that much. He'd have castles in England.
Exactly. He would be able to have all the Dapper Dan hair gel he wants.
Dude.
He messed up.
All the beautiful stars of the 50s
Listen,
didn't have press-on nails.
We've been saying
because
this since
of
the
John
beginning of the
Haigh.
episode. He was not money smart. He was not money smart.
Yeah.
He was good at posing as a intellectual, as an accountant, as an investor, or whatever, but he was not one. He was not one.
Yeah. Well, as it stood, he invited her down to his Leopold Road workshop on February 18th, 1949, on the guise of showing her some materials that he had that could help her with her press-on nail business that was coming to be. And once inside...
It's duct tape.
and we go full circle. Duct tape press-on nails. It would stick. But you're only getting gray or red. That's the only two
Listen,
color
mate,
options.
I think when it hits the market, it's really going to stick, okay?
Oh, God. Yeah, so on a serious note, once they got back to the Leopold Road workshop on February 18th, 1949, walked inside, he immediately shot her in the back of the neck with a .38 caliber revolver, the one that he had stolen from Archibald Henderson and used against him as well. He then stripped her out of her valuables, including a Persian lamb coat, and put her into the acid bath. 2 days later, Duran Deacon's friend, Constance Lane, reported her missing. So she was well liked at this hotel. This is where she lived. She had a lot of money from being a widow from a wealthy man. And she lived at this hotel, and everybody there liked her. And so when she goes up missing, these are also like older. I feel like she had some older women friends at the hotel. And like they didn't have a whole lot better to do. They see this young guy come and like hanging around her, and he leaves with her, and all of a sudden she doesn't come back.
Right.
And this lady...
They're not stupid.
She's not... Yeah, she didn't like him from the get-go. She got a weird vibe from him.
Yeah.
Haigh managed to catch the attention of the police investigating the disappearance twice. First, he offered to drive Constance Lane to the police station to report Olive missing. So he's the guy delivering the main witness to the police station, and she doesn't like him. But he's trying to do this to make himself look innocent. He's like, I'll drive you to the police station. I don't know where she is either. She was supposed to meet with me.
Right.
She didn't show up.
Right.
I don't know what happened to her.
Exactly.
I'll drive you down there.
Right.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you be as helpful as you can be?
Yeah. And well, we know criminals at times are known to interject themselves into investigations as a means of trying to make themselves look innocent. But the police know better.
Jodi Arias.
Right?
She's a perfect example.
That is a good example.
I mean, she interjected herself every chance she could.
Yep. It's time and time again they do that. They'll just be like, hey, what's going on over here?
Yeah, I just wanted
You guys
to see how
found
it's
some
going.
bodies?
Found
Or...
any killers yet? Nope. Okay.
All right, good to know. I'm innocent for now.
What kind of
Going my own way here.
kind of evidence you got there?
I heard that guy's a real asshole
Is that
killing
hair
people.
on the bag? What is that? What do you got there?
I brought you guys some donuts.
Just like you like them. The maple bacon ones.
Then when the other residents of the Onslow court began to speculate about what happened to Olive, John told them that the two had made an appointment to meet, but Olive had never shown up, as I had mentioned. Because he was known to the police, putting himself and his face on the radar twice turned out to be his downfall. The detectives looking into Olive's disappearance contacted Scotland Yard to find out more about John. While the investigation was rapidly progressing, John was busy emptying out the drum that he had put Olive in. He dumped it into the yard just like he had done with the other ones, with the Hendersons. Mm-hmm. And so he's not even learning from like that. Not that he had gotten caught from that, but he's just... Now he's actually felt a little bit of police pressure. Like he's had to be he's had to be questioned by police on a woman he killed's disappearance. Mm-hmm. Still brash enough to just dump her body in the yard.
Dude, I think that actually helped him become more brash. I think that actually encouraged him. Because once he had that encounter, he's like, well, I'm not under arrest. I was literally in there. If they wanted to arrest me, they would have arrested me.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm untouchable.
Well, I think there's a real reason for this confidence that he had that he wouldn't be caught. And that's he was under the wrong impression that if he was able to dissolve these bodies and completely do away with them, he could never be convicted.
Oh, right. No body, no murder.
Because while in prison, he had studied some law stuff, and he had misunderstood the meaning of the term corpus delicti. Delicity?
Mm-hmm.
Delicity?
I think you did too.
I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't know what it means.
delicacy and mistakenly believed that if the bodies could not be found, a murder conviction could not be possible. So if basically the way he looked at the law under that term was that if there was no body, there's no conviction, period. If he could just dissolve of them, he could even tell the police that he had killed her, but there's no body, so they can't convict him. But that's not. He thought that he was under the impression that there would have to be a physical body that they could look at, but really there could, as long as they could.
There seems to be evidence that the body was there.
Yes, right. Or that there has to be enough other evidence.
A part of the body would work, like a foot.
Mm-hmm. Or if they could prove that she'd been killed.
Yeah.
There's other ways.
I mean, a foot sitting beside his workshop, dude. Like that's, you know what I mean? That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Well, a foot's good enough. We don't need the whole body.
You didn't have any more sulfuric acid. You couldn't just throw the foot into another one.
He just got cocky, dude.
Just didn't want to touch it.
Thank God for serial killers' cockiness.
Yeah,
because otherwise they almost would never get caught. Yeah, so he dumps what's left of her body in the yard, and we'll find out more about that pile of sludge later because there was quite a few pieces of evidence in there. Even though he thought it was all dissolved, there's still a part of a foot and other things. Mm-hmm. So he does that, and then he also travels to a nearby town to have her jewelry appraised. When he returned to Onslow Court, the police were waiting for him. They questioned Haigh on 2 separate occasions and eventually decided to search his workshop. At the workshop, police found a dry cleaner's receipt for Mrs. Durand Deacon's coat and papers referring to the Hendersons and McSwan. So now he's connected to other missing persons.
Yeah, that's too much of a coincidence. But like we said, he got cocky. He didn't think anybody was coming by. Yeah. And he also doesn't think it matters still.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just pure overconfidence.
And ignorance, really.
Ignorance, yeah. Police found a few blood stains on the walls and a hat pin at the bottom of one of the drums. They then investigated the yard. Investigation of the area by a pathologist revealed 28 pounds of human body fat, part of a human foot, 3 human gallstones, 18 pieces of bone, a lipstick container, and an upper and lower denture, which were later identified by Mrs. Durand Deacon's dentist. So they went to her dentist, and he confirmed they were her dentures.
Dude, that lipstick container though, that shit must have been incredibly made.
But I feel like most people's yards have this stuff, right?
Part of a foot and 28 pounds of human body fat.
A few gallstones. I mean,
right. If you really looked around out there and dug around for a minute.
Yeah, if a yard has any history to it at all.
Go out back in your gardens and look around, right?
It's nothing to see here, really. I mean, I feel like the police are barking up the wrong tree.
They really are.
No. What is a gallstone again?
It can get in like your gallbladder.
Does everyone have them or just some people? I feel like it's
not everybody
common,
has
right?
them. No, but you can live with them. You can pass them.
Yeah.
But some people have to get them removed, and then some people get their gallbladder removed and just get rid of that part anyways. But there's like bile in your gallbladder that helps you break down food.
Okay.
And like once some of it gets gunked up in there, like fats, like heavy fats, and then they cause little stones.
I just find it weird that there's parts of our body that we don't need. We're like, we can throw that out.
Like appendix?
Yeah.
Well, it holds
your tonsils, your appendix.
I think it holds things up.
We can do without this. We can throw this out.
That does seem weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like a car. You're just ripping parts out and throwing over your shoulder.
But we do the same thing with dogs. We're like, it should stand up. You don't need this tail.
I'm not a big fan of cropping the ears and stuff like that.
Yeah,
just leave the dog.
Me either. But I'm just saying, if we do it to ourselves.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Well, we do circumcise as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, your dick don't look right.
That ain't right.
I don't like that looking at me.
Skin.
Yeah.
Talk about tangents. All right.
All right. So when hit with all this evidence and questioning, they've got the gallstones. They've got the 18 pieces of bone, 28 pounds of human fat.
28 pounds of body fat?
You know what? It's hard to overcome that in an interrogation.
Yeah.
I feel like 18 pounds of fat, under 20.
Mm-hmm. Like maybe you got a shot, right? You could be like, I had
you know what, bro? I've been
chickens.
running a lot.
Yeah.
I've been eating vegan.
And
the pounds are just falling off.
They're just falling
literally into the yard.
And this is where I stand when they fall off.
But 28 pounds.
Look at that. I lost part of my foot the other day. Like
that's how hard I'm running. I literally ran my foot right off.
Right off.
He didn't think this fast. And when hit with all of this evidence, he ended up confessing. And I think really it came down to the habeas corpus thing or whatever the hell we mentioned.
Yeah.
Basically, where he was still under the impression that if they didn't have a body, they had no case.
Right.
And so during questioning, Haigh asked Detective Inspector, quote, "Tell me frankly, what are the chances of anybody being released from Broadmoor?" which Broadmoor, I think we've talked about it before, was a high-security psychiatric hospital at the time.
Right.
The inspector said that he could not discuss that sort of thing, and so Haigh replied, quote, "Well, if I told you the truth, would you not believe me? It sounds too fantastic to believe."
Yikes, fantastic. Not a good
So
word.
you can see the early seedings of him trying to sell the insanity thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's too crazy, you won't even believe me if I told
Right.
you. Which they already knew how crazy it was. They found human sludge in his yard.
Yeah.
With dentures
They're
and
like,
shit.
we're pretty.
They know you've been melting bodies.
We know you're pretty crazy, bro. You
Yeah.
melt bodies. There's no telling what you're.
Yeah, you have some
capable
different
of.
weekend activities than
Right.
just going play golf.
You're peculiar people.
Yeah,
What we would call.
Yeah, I'd say a bit peculiar.
Yeah. You're.
Yeah. That needs to be the name of this episode. John Haigh,
Peculiar
a peculiar
John.
fellow. A peculiar bloke.
Right.
Haigh then went on to confess that he had killed Duran Deacon, the old woman, the old widow. He also said that he killed the McSwans and the Hendersons, as well as 3 other people, a young man named Max, a girl from Eastbourne, and a woman named Hammersmith. Although the claims about the additional 3 people could never be substantiated, we believe, as we said earlier in the episode, that they were a part of his insanity plea. He wanted to prove that he could kill people just on a whim because he wanted to kill, not just for financial reasons.
Yeah, but
he had no details.
I
He had
never knew
so
what he
many-
called them. That's what I was about to say. I never
Yeah.
knew how vague these names were. Did you say a boy named Max? Really?
Yeah.
A boy named Max.
That's another thing. The police are like, they literally took them 2 hours to write down the details of the McSwan murders, I believe, or one of these cases. That's how many details he had. And then with the other ones, he's like, there was some kid named Max.
Yeah, some kid
I don't
named
really
Max.
remember. I mean, I killed him and melted his body,
Hammersmith.
but the details are a little blurry.
I don't know why he's like a New Yorker.
Right?
I don't know, Hammersmith or some shit like that. I don't know what name.
We were talking about
early days.
We were talking about before the show.
Yeah.
Why do we go back to the Boston accent so much? And I think we have it figured out. It's because it's hard to take us seriously when we do that, and that's what we're going for. We're like being goofy a lot of times, and it's so clear we're being goofy when we do Boston. It's just like
You can get away with saying much more crazy things if you say it in a Boston accent.
yeah.
It doesn't sound as bad. You're like, oh,
It's just obvious we're being sarcastic and silly when we do Boston accent, and so people, we hope, won't take us as seriously when we do it. I think that's why we keep going back to that old bag.
It's a little show insight right there.
Yeah.
I like that, man.
Yeah.
The more you know.
So after his confession, the detective cautioned John not to continue speaking, but John had a story to tell. First, he gave a detailed confession about Olive, which took him more than 2 hours to write. No, that's the one I was thinking of. So the old woman, Olive. He then moved on to confessions about the McSwans and the Hendersons. He claimed each of the murders was motivated by a lust for blood, which the evidence pointed to elsewhere. It seemed financially, the way he was taking on power of attorney, selling off their property, selling their jewelry at pawn shops, and this and that. And there was no evidence of the blood drinking.
No.
It'd be hard to prove after he put acid on the bodies and
Dude,
whatnot.
he would so not get blood on him.
No,
man. Come on.
a
This
guy
dude.
that wears gloves to work on a car.
Yeah,
It's
he's wearing like a hairnet to work on a car. He's not
Yeah.
freaking. He's wearing like a shower cap.
Yeah, he's like icky. Like, I don't want germs.
Yeah.
They said he was not sexually motivated. Like, this from the police. They're learning more about him. They said that he was never even into sex. And they interviewed a bunch of people.
That much
knew
of a
him.
pretty boy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Like, sex is icky. You
Yeah.
know? Like, I felt like that's how he looked at it. He's like Howie Mandel.
Yeah.
He's like, won't shake your hand.
Right.
Probably a germaphobe to the max.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably.
This is conjecture.
Absolutely. Totally.
But he definitely didn't like getting dirty. We do know that. But we're just maybe taking it a little further.
Yeah.
These
Just a smidge.
shocking confessions and the focus on a lust for blood were likely John laying the ground for his insanity defense. However, he truly believed he could not be charged with the murder because there were no bodies. After his arrest, this is a different time, man. They would arrest you, and the trial would be like the next week. Like, it's not like it is now, where it's like, 3 years from now, we'll get around to your trial.
Well, I don't
and
think we
that'll
had
take
as
months,
many
and then-
criminals then because we didn't have as many people.
Yeah, and this is over in England in the 40s, and they were just like, what'd this guy do? All right, throw him on the trial. Let's see what happens. After his arrest, he remained in custody in cell 2 of Horsham Police Station on Bartlett Road. The cell door from his incarceration is now preserved in the Horsham Museum. So he's that infamous over there. His trial began on July 8th, 1949, at the nearby courthouse. He was charged with murder. He pleaded insanity, claiming that he had drunk the blood of his victims. He confessed to having dreams dominated by blood as a young boy. When he was involved in a car accident on March 4th, in March of 1944, his dream returned to him. This is a quote that he said, and this is part of his defense about all these dreams and whatnot that he had as a kid. We didn't bring this up during his childhood, when we went through that, just because we don't believe this actually even happened. This is just part of his defense.
Right.
So this is a quote during him trying to defend himself for murder. Quote, "I saw before me a forest of crucifixes which gradually turned into trees. At first there appeared to be dew or rain dripping from the branches, but as I approached I realized it was blood. The whole forest began to writhe and the trees, dark and erect, to ooze blood. A man went from each tree catching the blood. When the cup was full, he approached me. 'Drink,' he said, but I was unable to move." That's quite
he made that up.
but I mean, that's quite a story to make up.
Is it though?
It points to a creative mind that he came up with this dream supposedly from when he was a kid.
Yeah, but there's a lot about blood in the Christian religion. There's a lot. And then the crucifixes, the trees.
This almost could have been a passage out of the Bible that no one caught onto. They're like, wait a second.
It's like a burning bush type of thing.
I heard that one before.
Right.
The prosecuting attorney general, Sir Hartley Shawcross, urged the jury to reject Hay's defense of insanity because he took a great deal of care planning his crimes. True, if there's that much premeditation, it just seems like the true criminals who were criminally insane, like Herbert Mullen, that one's one I fully buy into, where it was like he's on all these hallucinogenic drugs, his brain was fried, he's doing acid every day and all this stuff.
Right. And
he's just lashing out at people in public. Like, remember the guy, the priest that he was confessing to, and then he just kills the guy right there. That's uncontrollable murder right there.
That's
like,
true
just
insanity.
Lashed out.
That's insanity.
Insanity.
He's insane. Absolutely.
Whereas this shit is so premeditated, and then after the murder, he's doing all these steps to get rid of the body, and he's taking all of their funds and
writing to family members.
There's just no way you can defend these actions.
Absolutely not.
Hay's lawyer called many witnesses to attest to Hay's mental state, including Dr. Henry Yellowes, who claimed that Haigh had a paranoid constitution, adding, quote, "The absolute callous, cheerful, bland, and almost friendly indifference of the accused to the crimes which he freely admits having committed is unique in my experience." But that was calculated, in my opinion. You know what I mean? He was trying to... once he realized
he's hired by the defense, first off.
Yeah, but what the lawyer's saying... I mean, what this... what would you call it? A criminal...
It's like a therapist.
Yeah, like a professional...
psychiatrist.
Yeah. This guy's for the defense.
Yeah.
But what he's saying makes sense if it wasn't calculated on the part of John Hayes. I feel like once he realized that they had him on physical evidence, they had the foot and the gallstones and all that.
Right.
He then, something triggered and he's like, okay, now it's insanity time. And he goes, I did all this stuff and I killed 3 more people. And that's when he turned in the interrogation and just went like, okay, fuck it, you got me. Now let's try a new tactic.
Right.
And that's what this guy is saying. It is different in his experience, but I think he's neglecting to say the fact that this is a calculated move.
I think he's just
John Hayes.
Yeah, but I think this psychiatrist is only commenting on his lack of remorse. You can't get an insanity plea by saying lack of remorse. I think this was a perfect way, because I think this lawyer thought he was guilty and an evil person. This therapist, but he was also hired by the defense. Yeah. This is like this therapist is pretty damn brilliant.
Yeah.
Because it is weird. And he just says it's unique in my experience. He doesn't even say good or bad.
Right.
But I think he's commenting.
He didn't say it's unique and it proves that this man is insane.
Right.
He's saying it's unique.
And he's only commenting on the fact that he doesn't care that he murdered the people. But there's lots of murderers like that.
What I was trying to come up with earlier, I guess you would say this guy's an expert witness, right, for the defense.
Yeah.
And his expertise is in psychiatric evaluation.
Right.
Looking at a guy. And so, yeah, he's saying that this is unique, but it doesn't necessarily prove that he was incapable insane and incapable of stopping himself from committing these crimes and not realizing what he was doing. He was fully aware of what he was doing. It became apparent during the trial that Haigh had been using the acid to destroy the victims' bodies because he misunderstood the meaning of the legal term corpus delicti. Delicti. And believed that if there were no bodies, no murder conviction would be possible. Corpus delicti means body of the crime in Latin. The term refers to the fact that it must be proven that a crime was committed before anyone can be charged with it. Haigh thought that it literally referred to a human body.
Dope moment.
During the trial, John focused most of his attention on a crossword puzzle and did not attempt to speak for himself. At the end of the trial, which only lasted for 2 days, the jury deliberated for a mere 17 minutes before returning to find Haigh guilty. Justice Travers Humphreys then sentenced him to death.
17 minutes? You're right. They did not fuck around back then, dude.
No.
They're like, all right, what'd you do? Put him on trial. All right, we'll be back to talk about it. All right,
be-
we're back to talk about it. He's guilty.
That being said, I think if me and you were there, it would have taken even less than 17 minutes from what it sounded. The way the
Yeah.
trial sounds like it went,
Yeah.
it wasn't a matter of whether he had done these crimes. It was a matter of whether he was insane. And it was clear that
Right.
he premeditated these murders
Right.
and also tried to cover them up after. And it was reported that Haigh, in the condemned cell at Wandsworth Prison, asked one of his prison guards, Jack Morwood, whether it would be possible to have a trial run of his hanging so everything would run smoothly. So he's a little worried. Apparently, he didn't
Just want to make
realize.
sure you get the rope length right, mate. It's very important.
But the problem is, he didn't realize the experience of our hangman
Right.
from our Hangman trilogy.
Yeah, he didn't. This guy,
Albert Pierpoint.
Pierre Point was probably like, get out of my face, bro.
Right.
You know how many people I've hung? You know how many people my dad has hung? Okay.
Bro,
I've
this
been-
is what we do. Literally,
Right.
our family crest is not a swan. It's
I
a
can
fucking
look
noose,
at you
okay?
and cut the right length of rope.
Right. Just kind of size them up.
Just size them up. Stand against that wall over there. Yeah.
You know, in Pierpoint, like, probably ended up having to talk to these people beforehand, like, I'm going to be your executioner that time. He literally
Yeah.
just sized them up, like, okay, wait, he looks he was at 172,
I get a heavier.
about
gauge
5'9".
rope
All right, we got, I know what gauge rope to go with.
here. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
It's pretty sick.
The whole time he's supposed to be like.
He's
getting
looking
to
at
know-
you, talking to you, but you could tell he's sizing up your body because he's just looking at you like a piece of meat.
Dude, I don't think so. I think he's probably like.
He was probably compassionate, right?
Well, no, I don't
Fair
think
point.
I don't think he has any interaction. I wouldn't want any interaction with the person that I'm about to have to hang. I would just be like, hey, just give me a freaking sheet with his measurements. Like, how tall is he? How much does he weigh? Okay, cool, thanks.
Right.
I mean, how far is it from the top of his neck to his feet?
By the way, this is a
something.
picture of Albert Pierpoint, famous hangman.
He looks like a jolly fellow,
He does,
doesn't he?
looks
Look at
like
him.
He looks happy.
He looks like he's having a good time. He's living his best life out there.
Yeah.
All
He's
right,
getting
well,
a pension
good for
from
you,
hanging
Pierre
people.
Point. Good for you.
All right.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah. Let's wrap this thing up. It's likely that his request went no further, or if it did, the request was denied. Like we said, we got a professional here. We don't need to worry about you questioning whether you'll die. You'll die. Don't
Yeah.
worry. It'll be
Yeah.
quick. It'll
Don't
be
worry
over.
about it. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
Just prior to his execution, Haigh was asked if he wanted a brandy. He replied, "Make it a large one, old boy." I always love those last quotes right
Yeah.
before they get executed. Haigh was led to the gallows and hanged by executioner Albert Pierpoint on August 10th, 1949. And that is part 2 of our Hangman trilogy. Thank you, Chris Sharp, for the suggestion.
Hell
I think
yeah.
this
We're having fun
trilogy is
with
gonna be
these
fun.
UK guys.
Yeah, we
These
are.
These are some interesting cases.
We got
over here.
another interesting one to finish out the trilogy.
do
and at
we?
a certain point, we'll package these up. Maybe we'll
What, sell them in a
some art-
DVD set? What,
Yeah.
what do you want to do here?
Yeah. Like, what was it? Wow 25 or whatever. Remember
Yeah,
the commercials for the fucking
That'll be
CDs?
us. We'll save up save up a couple months Patreon and we'll buy a commercial. We'll do our own infomercial.
Order the 4 parts Freeway Serial Killer series.
Right.
But wait, there's more. You get the Hangman trilogy if you order within the next 10 minutes.
And then there's 6 empty discs in the package to simulate the space between the releases.
Right.
You just put them in and it's like not available yet.
Right. You got to wait for this shit. It's going to
Yeah.
be good, though.
Right. It's gonna be good. And Patrick Kearney.
Right. Trash bag killer.
Right.
All right, guys. That wraps up this week's free episode. Thank you for listening. We want to thank everybody that's gone and rated and reviewed on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever it is you can go and rate and review us. But yeah,
right.
pretty trippy, as we mentioned at the beginning of the episode, to see that we hit 1,000 iTunes reviews.
Yeah, that's good for us, man.
Never thought it would happen.
That's good for people who don't promote very well.
Yeah, it's not bad,
That's
right? That
not
must
bad.
say something about the product.
It must be somewhat mediocre.
The word on the streets, true crime guys.
It's kind of cool being kind of being like an indie podcast though.
It is.
It's very cool.
It's kind of cool not trying that hard, right?
Yeah. It's just fun because you find genuine people that want to listen.
I hate
think.
feeling needy. Like, hey, go listen to my podcast, guys.
Yeah, it's
Like,
tough.
I want it to be good enough that people just go talk about it. And that's what's
Yeah.
going on. So we have to thank you guys because you're hitting the streets and
Right.
telling your friends and family and your coworkers and everything
Absolutely.
about our show. And we see it, man. We see it on social media and whatnot. There's still new people finding us all the time, and it's spreading organically, and it's a beautiful thing. We don't
It
have to pay to advertise our show on other shows, or we don't pay for Instagram to put our post above others and all that stuff.
Right. Man, those algorithms are easily hackable. I've come to find out. Like, there's so many apps that will do shit for you on Instagram. It's unreal, but people always get caught though. Or you end up following like 1 million people. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know. I just never had any intentions on doing anything like that.
No. We'll just let
Organic's
that
the way to
product
go.
speak for itself. We just do the podcast. We put our love and fun into it, and it's being
That's what
received
it is,
well.
man.
So it is
We
what it
just
is.
come at you organic, like Oh My Gaia, like our
Yes.
sponsor.
Oh my guy, an all natural deodorant and beard oil company.
Specializing in paraben and aluminum-free products. You almost got it, dude. Good job.
I was getting there, Michael. You jumped me.
Oh,
You're just so
sorry.
excited about oh my guy. I know
I
how
am.
it goes.
Do you know the next line? Their line of deodorants inhibit the growth of odor-causing bacteria while maintaining effectiveness.
I did know that line, but
did?
you said it again for me, so I don't have to.
Shit. Do you know at Oh My Gaia they use only all natural paraben and aluminum-free organic ingredients?
Wouldn't put anything else in my pits, Michael.
Exactly. And there's so many scents. There's vanilla, there's cherry almond, there's sandalwood, there's lavender, there's lemongrass. So there's no excuses to be wearing speed stick anymore. Get that shit out your pits.
There
Put
is
some
no
good
excuse.
smelling stuff in there. And because you are a True Crime Guys listener, you can get 15% off your order with the keyword creeper, CREEPER, for 15% off. And that's at shop_Oh My Gaia on Instagram or ohmygaia.com, OHMYGAIA.com. And we also have another sponsor this week. I am pleased to announce we are working with Mojave High Creations. That is a unique, one-of-a-kind clothing company on Etsy. You can go to etsy.com/shop/Mojave High Creations, MOJAVEHIGHCREATIONS. Jesus, Mojave, like the desert, Mojave High Creations. And also at Mojave High Creations on Instagram. You can check her work out there. She makes custom tops and bottoms and hats out of crochet, and they're pretty dope, if I say so myself. I'm a little bit partial to this company because I am sleeping with the owner. It is my wife. So again, Mojave High Creations, at Mojave High Creations on Instagram. Go check her out. Give her a like, ladies. If you want to wear something like unique for the summer, something organic, something made by someone who actually cares what it looks like, check it out. All right, man, you want to get to some reviews?
Yeah, thank you guys. As we keep mentioning, over 1,000 on iTunes now. It's a big landmark. That's awesome. And so I want to thank some of the people that helped us get there. Nix34 said that our show is really easy to listen to, enjoy the natural feels. It feels like it's
Feels natural for me too, Nick.
like they're hanging out with a couple of friends. I want to thank I Killed Samson, said that we're funny. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to say Crime Obsessed. Thank you for the 5-star review. Said one of my favorites. Kate, DMD, DMS, J. These get crazy.
Okay, right.
But thank you, Kate.
Thanks, Kate.
Said amazing, 5 stars. Found us about a week ago. Been listening nonstop ever since. One of those binges. One of them dirty binges over there.
Binges.
That's easy to say in British, right? Binge.
Binges.
Look at you bingy over there. Binge.
You been binging, have you?
You been binging? You dirty binger. I want to thank Ashworth Nicole for the 5-star review. I'm very impressed. My library is filled with true crime podcasts, and this is by far one of my favorites.
Oh, come on.
Come on,
Come
now.
on.
Romantic Fashion, thank you for the great 5-star review. And you spelt podcast wrong, just so you know in the title.
That's okay.
Podcast.
Nailed it. That's a better thing. We should start coming out with podcast.
Crime Creeper 1976 said we're amazeballs. Thank you. Riley Nana said we're awesome. 5 stars. Thank you. MBB165, a new fave. 5 stars. Thank you.
Cool.
Said just the right amount of info combined with opinion and humor. Appreciate that. The Third 90, 5-star, tasteful and easy to listen to. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
This person, Nikki T27, gave us a 3-star review just because we haven't done Ted Bundy, but we have.
But we have done. You revoke that 3-star
You
review
better-
right now.
You better give us a 5-star.
You better come hat in hand.
Yeah. I love it when they hold us ransom. Like, I'm keeping this 1-star on here until you do what I want. Damn it.
like, nah.
What? AM Hobbs, 5-star, great true crime. Thank you for the review. USCG 3612, 5 stars, fun and factual. Thank you. LRE 88, 5 stars. The Carl Panzram episode, legit had me crying, laughing. I just started listening to them, but they were funny. Thank you.
Me too.
For that.
We have a lot of fun with that episode.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure you had me crying laughing on that damn episode.
A7744, thank you for the 5-star review and compared us to last podcast. We can't
That's
even
high
take
praise.
that. Yeah, we can't even take that. They're way so much better
Get
than
out of
us.
here.
It's ridiculous.
Get out.
But we also enjoy their show. So
Very true.
hey, we have some common ground there. Mom5132 said she's a podcast creeper. I feel I am almost a professional pod listener. Just found you guys recently, and I'm binging every chance I get. Unfortunately, you don't get paid to be a podcast listener.
No, but you sound like a pro to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely stamp of approval. You're a pro.
A. Abrams. Weird sense of humor. 5-star review. These guys can be goofy and definitely have a weird sense of... This episode proves you are 100% right.
Guilty.
This episode alone will prove that.
Absolutely.
Deve-tastic. I don't even know how I got here, but gave us a 5-star review, so I appreciate that.
Wow. Welcome.
Scooper811 said BS as the title, but still gave us a 5-star review.
I'll take it.
Quote, I
It
like
is
your
bullshit, though.
I like your podcast for all the true crime info and your storytelling. On the Dahmer episode, you did notice you said he claimed to have said killers shouldn't be put the blame on the parents, we ended up blaming his father anyway.
So? That's conjecture, man. We can blame whoever we want.
Yeah, we can say whatever we want, man. We got our own podcast.
There's America.
KPS 9896 said, a must listen. Love these guys. Great podcast. Entertaining. Thank you. Mick, M-I-K-K-K-K-K-K-K 1234. Amazing and entertaining. 5 stars. Thank you. Barry Buttons, best podcast host. 5-star. These guys are so funny in the show. I feel like we're just... Should we not read these?
No, we shouldn't read all these. Just give them a shout out. Give them the credit for leaving a review.
Yeah, I think we used to read these and it was just got...
Yeah, it's
dumb.
too much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
I feel weird taking all the...
I mean, I think you should shout them their name, but not all that other stuff, man.
Not all the stuff they say.
Yeah, it's just so repetitive. It's just so much good stuff back to back. It's just, too,
Right.
much, too
I don't know how to
repetitive.
take it.
Right.
Mamawi, 5 stars, thank you. The K-Sters
Casters.
says we're her favorite true crime podcast. I will take that.
We'll take that.
Thank
That's
you.
cool.
And
Different
that's
strokes for different folks, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. All of you guys. Keep them coming. Let's hit 2,000.
Yeah,
Why not?
2,000. Why not?
Why not? You got to set goals,
I mean,
right?
it's like 1,000, but twice as good.
I agree. That is factually correct, actually.
Yes, we are funny and factual. If you
Mathematically,
to
that adds up. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, you want to wrap
Anything
this up, or
Well, we do have to talk
anything else
about
to say?
our paid service, True Crime Guys. Patreon.com.
do we have a Patreon?
We do.
oh,
We're like those people with the Patreon
with
pages.
the Patreon asking people
Except
for
ours-
money for work. What kind of people are
Except
you?
ours is cooler.
It's
than
fun work though.
The other ones.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/True Crime Guys has a bunch of bonus episodes, bonus recordings. It has Michael's standalone show, Higher Thoughts,
Thank you, sir.
where he gets into
There will be a new
higher
one
state of
recorded
mind
today. Yeah.
and babbles, and it's great. And he answers questions from listeners, and he has on guests, and it's entertaining as hell.
I'll be recording a new one tonight. What is the date? The 7th.
Yes.
June 7th. I'll be recording a new one tonight, and it will be available on like the 8th. I think I'm gonna have my wife on. It's gonna be some good shit.
Hell
We got
yeah.
a lot of stuff planned. My parents were just in town. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Should be fun.
Right on. So yeah, look forward to that. $2 a month gets you into the party. You can always pledge more if you want. If you want the primo gold True Crime Guys creeper van sticker
Right.
that a small amount of people in the
prestigious.
world have. I would say like 0.00001% of the world have this gold sticker.
Maybe less.
So
If we're
you would
being
be a
real
part of
factual.
a very elite group. You'd be like the
Yeah.
1%ers and have this gold True Crime Guys creeper van sticker.
Right. Put it on your motorcycle vest.
Put it on your motorcycle, put it on your dog, put it on
Yeah.
your car,
Right. Put it on your significant other while they sleep. Don't really care.
put it on your dick. We don't care.
We don't care. Just look at it.
Yeah, it's gold. It's awesome. $5 a month
There you go.
gets you that, and then you can always go back down to $2 after you get the sticker if you want.
Right.
You only have to pledge $5 once, and you get the sticker. So that's what's cool about it.
Absolutely.
And $10 gets you the ability to talk to us. And that perk's
Yeah.
not going to stay around much longer because it's a pain in the ass to try and set up conversations with you guys. We're not going to lie. Between our busy schedule and your
Yeah.
busy schedule, trying to get together to talk with you guys, it's hard.
You know
so
what- you know
this
what,
is a
though?
perk that's going away soon. So take advantage.
And you know what though? We would like to know what other perk could take its place, right? Suggestions.
Yeah,
would be
$10 a
nice.
month. What do you guys want that
What do you
you'd be
think?
willing to
What's
pledge
worth-
$10 a
Yeah.
month for? Do you want like our dirty underwear or something?
Yeah. Right. What's it worth? Oh, you wear underwear?
Yeah, man.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, Michael's freeballing, I guess. Michael send you a bag of
but
pubes. I don't know what to tell you.
What do you want from us? No, seriously, we'll take suggestions. Hit us up on Facebook, True Crime Guys, Instagram at True Crime Guys, and
Yeah.
Twitter. You guessed it, at True Crime Guys.
Yeah.
Hit us up at any of those and give us your
Offer up.
suggestions.
eBay.
Right. How many people do this? How many people put out? What do you want? At $10 a month. What is it?
What do we have to do?
Right.
I'll freaking juggle on a unicycle if I have to.
And I will just juggle.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes, sir.
guys. Are you done?
Yeah, I guess
done
so,
rambling?
man. I guess.
All right.
All right.
We got shit to do.
It's ended awkwardly.
All right.
I guess I'll see you next week if you want.
Guys, if you want to tune in next week for another freebie, are we going to do the Hangman
We're gonna be like
series?
friend zoning ourselves. Like, I guess we can. I mean, do you want to go somewhere? I mean, what do you want to do?
What do you wanna
What do you want to do? Women love
Do you wanna
that.
do the
What do you
Hangman
want to do?
series? What do you want to? What do
Do you want to go see a movie? I mean, it's totally cool if we
mean,
don't go
it's-
see a movie.
yeah.
It's totally cool if we don't hang out at all. I mean, I'm cool to hanging
I'm
out.
cool with anything. I just want to make sure all the options are on the table.
Yeah, I, mean, I want to do what you want to do. That's what's
And I'm
important.
not going
to
to
me.
add any more inflection to the thing that I do want to do secretly and then hope that you pick up
Just
on
so
it.
you know, if you do decide to spend the rest of your life, this is going to be every day.
Yeah.
We're going to wake up and we're not going to know what we're going to do because I'm asking you what
Right.
you want to do because
So-
everything's important.
Right. So you might as well learn to plan.
Yeah. All right, guys. See you next week.
See you next week, guys. We'll plan on it. Peace. Keep creeping.
True crime guys, in the desert we like a mirage. It's okay if you clicked on us cause you thought we was True Crime Garage. Now we ain't mad at you, sit down, let us talk at you. I'm talking to the creeper army, we out here making murder, get murder, get murder. True crime guys, in the desert we like a mirage. It's okay if you clicked on us cause you thought we was True Crime Garage. Now we ain't mad at you, sit down, let us talk at you. I'm talking to the creeper army, we out here making murder charming.